What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Wars in the Stars, episode number 69. Today, we got
Yes.
a Kenobi episode 1 and episode 2 review, but the show is much more jam-packed than that. Very excited for this. We've been looking forward to this for a long time, my friend, a long time. But first, I want to ask, as always, Alex, how are you doing, my man?
I'm not Alex. I'm the
Oh,
Scarlet
sorry.
Witch.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm the Scarlet Witch.
Sorry.
Yes, but Scarlet Witch over here is doing residentially fine. School is over until August, and then I'm a senior. But I think more importantly than my school being over, for my junior year being over, someone else's senior year is over.
Oh, what? What? Oh, yes.
What? Who's
Today
that?
was my last day ever of high school. It was kind of surreal walking out of the building. I kind of felt like Obi-Wan. Almost like, damn. Part of the journey is the end, man. So, yeah, pretty surreal. I get to graduate next Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. I should know that. Yeah, I get to graduate. Yeah, super excited. By the way, I have to ask: have you been liking my TikTok videos? I've been going to daily some vlogs and
I
stuff.
haven't seen your day in the lives.
Yes, I wanted
You
to
need to
just show it.
record your games.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I have like for our games they do footage, so like I could
Mhm.
show some stuff, show some plays that I made or didn't make. Um, but yeah, I should definitely add that in. But I gotta talk about Kenobi episode 1 and 2 later. But I kind of just want to jump right into it. I've watched episode 3 now. This was my third time watching it. I just watched it with my family. We'll start there, obviously. It's gotten better, I think, every time I've watched it.
Mhm.
Absolutely fantastic way to reintroduce us to the Obi-Wan's character. I've started to like characters like Reva more every time I rewatch it. And I think another standout character is Vivian Lyra Blair as Leia. Definitely stole the show in these first 2 episodes, I think.
Mhm.
Um,
I mean, we got introduced to Star Wars' first speedster. Like,
correct.
and it's crazy. That girl is speed, bro.
Wheels, bro. Wheels.
Like, I cannot believe 4 grown men could not catch this, like, little 10-year-old girl.
Nope. Not even a Jedi Master, bro.
No, it's crazy. And this, sorry, language. Uh, this guy almost got the Soul Stone for sacrificing her. Like,
Yeah. Facts.
I mean, jeez, come on now, what's going
Facts.
on?
Facts. He also looked like he was in Breaking Bad at one point in this episode.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you, like, honestly, I wish we would have only got 5 episodes in the series, and they would have just combined 1 and 2 together. Mini movie,
I
mini
will
movie
kind of
premiere.
say that the one thing I will say about episode 1 is we stay on that is it felt like it kind of dragged a bit.
I will
I
say it had a great opener, like
Oh,
great
fantastic.
opening.
Well,
Like,
it had a really good right away opening, like just with like just showing. I know it's stock footage, but still to get you like, yeah. I mean, this is it. This is this is the
yeah,
story. But it's one of the better execute. I think it might be the best executed Order 66 scene. It's like first person. It's like following the younglings.
yeah,
You see the
and
whole Jedi floor with all the Jedi dying. It's like crazy. It's pretty wild.
yeah, and it's like we this, in my opinion, really sums up how sudden Order 66 really was.
Mm,
This wasn't a thing where all the Jedi felt it. It was literally these Padawan or these younglings were literally in the middle of saber training, and then just got dicked on, or this Jedi
right.
Master did, and so it's just like, yeah, I mean, Disney's just killing us with Order 66.
Everything,
Like,
man.
and then I see the theory that one of the little girls might have been Reva.
I don't mind that.
So I mean, and that also lays into the fact that Obi-Wan talks about how most of the Inquisitors are ex-Jedi who
Correct.
basically hunting themselves.
Correct. Correct.
So
So
yeah,
I think there is some credibility to that theory.
yeah. I mean, you gotta take it like I have to say, yeah, I'm gonna give an early prediction for the show,
Go ahead.
and I'm not a prediction as in story wise. If the show keeps up to where the pace that it's at right now, if every episode after this is as good as episode 2 was, I mean, I'm down to say that this is the best Disney Plus show ever. I know it's hard because we're comparing it to The Mandalorian, something that we've had. I mean, come on, lots of love for. Like,
Right.
like I'm sorry, name me a Disney or Star Wars fan who doesn't like The Mandalorian. And if you don't like it, it's because you haven't seen it yet. And so, with me, I'm just like, this is a show where it's just like, let's be real, it's a very optional show to watch compared to comparatively to the Mandalorian, which is setting up the Mandoverse, a very interconnected universe with
Correct.
Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, uh, maybe Rangers of the New Republic, and so on,
Skeleton crew.
Skeleton Crew, and so on and so forth. And so, but we look at Obi-Wan Kenobi. You don't technically, by all means, have to watch this show, but you kind of feel inclined to. Just
Well, what
it's the appeal to the show for me.
what I would add to that is that I feel like my only worry was, does this take away from the importance of A New Hope? When the first time we meet Ben Kenobi, when Ben
Right,
comes in and helps take away and save Luke.
right.
I feel like this is just going to be. I know what you're implying, that it's not a necessity to watch.
Mm.
In the same sense that you might make the argument, you don't need to watch Rogue One, right? You don't need to see how
Yeah,
they get the Death Star plans. But damn, Rogue One makes a real good argument for not skipping, because it's that
yeah,
good of a film.
and that's what I'm saying with this series. It's just like
Right.
very skippable, just like the Bad Batch. I mean,
Whoa, whoa,
whoa,
whoa,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
whoa.
whoa, 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 whoa! No, no, I'm not comparing the show to the Bad Batch. I'm saying both are in the realm of skippable, not
Right.
necessary, but versus the Bad Batch. There we go. Saving myself. Um, this show is making a good argument. I mean, we're past argument. This show is like a must watch just because of how good it really is.
It definitely, like, I got a lot of it, like it felt like a direct sequel to Revenge of the Sith. Just felt
It
like a direct sequel.
had, the little thing at the beginning of the very first episode where it said 10 years later?
Right.
You could have fooled me and said this was directly after Revenge of the Sith. I would have bought it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's basically just telling you, yeah, this is right after Revenge of the Sith happened. So the first episode opens up with the Inquisitors. The Grand Inquisitor does have his yellow eyes, and I thought Rupert Friend did a good job. I really did.
Yeah.
It felt enough like the Grand Inquisitor. Now we have to remember it goes live action, animated comic or books and comics.
Yeah.
So this is what the Grand Inquisitor actually is. I guess. I mean, you can whichever one you
Yeah.
prefer is whatever. And I love his monologue about, like, the Jedi code, how they're compassionate and how their compassion kind of led to their downfall, you could say, because or is continuing to lead to their downfall because their compassion is just uh out in them as Jedi.
Yeah.
Um, and it was a really good scene. And even the Inquisitors have a line. But Riva obviously will cross that line to get the job done. And it's a really good allegory, I think, to Obi-Wan, now that I think of it, that she'll do anything to get the job done, even sacrificing, like, the Inquisitor code. And at this point in Obi-Wan's life, especially when he has that conversation, we'll get into this later probably or now, with Nari, and with even Bail, that Obi-Wan's willing to sacrifice the Jedi code to do anything he can to protect Luke.
Mm.
I mean, he's like gone past the point of, the Jedi and all that it's just about protecting Luke at this point, and even that he's really not doing. He's just seeing him like once in every while. Like,
Mm.
it's not much to protect. There's really no threat at this point.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's I really like that opening scene a lot. It really sets the tone. Uh,
Mm.
but again, besides Riva, those Inquisitors are still very boring as characters. Still very boring.
I want to say it I want to say it though. I mean, here's the thing. Fourth sister, we haven't really. I don't. Did we even hear her speak at all?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't think so.
And fifth brother, I mean, he was never interesting in Rebels, so he had a very hard case to do it in this show. I
Right.
think. I think for me though, it is important to know, like, you know, Reva is, as far as I'm aware, apart from Darth Vader, going to be the big bad of the show. I
Correct.
mean,
Right.
we've basically written off Grand Inquisitor.
Right.
Now there's going to be a big thing. How are you going to get around him surviving his stab wound? And also, how is that never going to get brought up in Rebels that an Inquisitor betrayed them? And
Right.
also, why is that a very frequent thing? Two Inquisitors now have turned on other Inquisitors. We
Right.
had Trilla in Fallen Order
Fallen Order.
got redeemed, and then Reva sacrificed the Inquisitor code for Kenobi. And I also like in this, I like that even though, fuck, I keep dropping the thing I'm holding on to. I like though, even though in this, she's basically very explicitly saying why she's doing what she's doing. She wants to get in Darth Vader's good graces.
Right.
But Grand
Yeah. The
Inquisitor
Inquis.
is like, no, you won't
No.
be in his good graces.
Nope.
So it's
Wow.
it's
I think the
interesting.
Grand Inquisitor is gonna ultimately be right.
Yeah, I mean,
A little bit of foreshadowing there.
yeah, I mean, honestly, without saying it, I mean, Vader does it to almost everyone, all of them. So who
Oh
cares?
yeah, right. I mean, he probably kills more Inquisitors than Jedi kill Inquisitors. So,
Yeah.
like,
um.
yeah, he just
It,
uses them as practice dummies. Like in boxing, how you used, just
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the standing guys to fight against. That's what the Inquisitors are to Vader.
Okay, I have to ask Disney a question though, and that is, what pill have they been taking? Why are all the shows so dark now? We saw someone be stabbed, and we saw someone's hand get cut off.
Oh yeah, that
And that
was
scene, and I mean, granted, also somebody got hung on screen.
correct. Correct.
It's another thing also, just like that. The thing when Reva cuts the person's hand off,
You can see it. Like you see it.
it's not a thing where we see the hand falling off screen. We see her cut it, and then we see, and
Yeah,
then we
yeah.
follow it
Continue to
down.
fall. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's just
It's
like,
like,
oh shit. Okay, I know what
and then
show
we
I'm
just
in
gloss
for.
over and we're like, yeah, back to the monologue. Here we go.
Yeah,
Just continue.
it's also just like what is happening right now? What is going on? I do have a question for you though. Do you like this dark turn Disney's taking? Like Moon Knight was really dark.
Oh yeah, I think it works because you could do it on Disney
Yeah,
Plus. You can't really do it on other things. You can do it on
yeah,
Disney Plus though, because it's your only streaming service.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, it's crazy because it's like, also, have you heard the news of the Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
right. Very odd.
Well, it's not even a Disney made thing. So it's like, copyright law is weird.
No, well, Winnie the Pooh is a free use. Anybody can use
Anybody
Winnie.
can use him. He's in public domain now. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, in 2036, Batman goes into public domain also.
No kidding.
2036, Batman will go into public domain because that'll be around his 95-year anniversary of being created. I'm going to make Winnie the Pooh and Batman a gay relationship. And then
So like Disney could be like, yo, let's make a Batman film.
I guess by all means. I mean, I don't know how all that works, but
That's gonna be
somebody's making Winnie
weird.
the Pooh a horror icon now. So
That movie's probably gonna be awful. But whatever. Back to Kenobi.
yeah, I know. But
So
yeah,
we open up with Obi-Wan finally, working in a meat shop, getting his uh cutting meat and stuff working, which is really interesting. And the first thing that happens obviously is that um and this show does a great job of show and not telling. There is not a lot of dialogue spoken, and when it does, it's pretty meaningful. The dude's like, "Yo, you're ripping me off here," and Obi-Wan doesn't do anything. Very much the antithesis of what the Grand Inquisitor believed. Like Obi-Wan from the beginning, you could tell has lost his way, right? And there's another nice detail that I noticed as we get further into the episode, and he starts to lose hope more in himself. Like he starts to um, make more and more poor decisions. It feels like the world's falling apart. He stops cleaning the knife. It's a
yeah,
really weird thing if you catch it. He cleans both sides of the knife the first time. The
hmm,
next time we see him, it's only one side, and I think the last time he doesn't at all. It's a really nice detail because it coincides with events. So after the second time, Nari left and went back to town. After the third time, it was Bale that he said no to originally. So it was a really nice detail I thought there. But yeah, it was so nice to see Ewan again. That first shot, it was like,
yeah,
wow, he's back. I never got to experience. We were too young. We never got to experience those movies when they came out. So it was really nice to finally see something new.
yeah,
Where we saw Ewan, and it felt natural. It felt like I was watching a prequel film. Like
yeah.
it felt really natural.
Now I will say to go on the thing about the prequel film. Um, it was the Order 66 scene when the Jedi is like when that Jedi Master is like moving the lightsaber around. I don't know if this is just me. I think they're like trying to act like prequel fighting styles. Like, did you see like all the weird like
Right. It's
whoa.
very much like how Anakin would move. Right. It's very much how
Yeah,
like yes.
but it feels like how people on TikTok do the Annie Obi
Right.
who can that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
I was
Right. I
just
get
like,
that.
okay, we get it. We're in the prequel era now. I'm excited though to see a fight. Obi-Wan, he kept pulling out that lightsaber. He
Shh.
kept pulling it out. He didn't turn it on though. He was close. He
I
touched the
was like,
button.
oh, is he gonna
Again,
do it?
I pointed this out on a few podcasts ago. This will be the first live action since Revenge of the Sith that we have seen a standard blue and a standard red lightsaber clash on screen.
I mean, think about it. Just we haven't. That's not true. The sequel trilogy, we got what? 3 lightsaber fights? 4?
We got Kylo versus Rey and Finn in 7. We got none in 8, and then we got Kylo versus Rey twice in Rise of Skywalker, so 3.
So we're not counting. Well, Luke's fight doesn't count with Kylo then in Last Jedi.
No, because lightsabers never make physical con. I mean, they kind. I guess if you want, I always count it as a duel, but I don't count it as a lightsaber duel.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
They're fighting, but they're not lightsaber fighting.
And I don't really. I like the Force Awakens one, but the other, the one in Rise, I don't like.
No, I'll say this. I know we're supposed to be talking about Kenobi, but I want to say this. I rewatched The Rise of Skywalker recently. The fight when the dyad fight when
Right.
when Kylo's on the ground of Kijimi and she's in the destroyer,
Yeah.
it's so weirdly choreographed, like how she's fighting, because she's going like, ooh, ooh, ooh. It's just like that's not natural, but go off, I guess. But yeah, I'm really excited to see that for like it's it's weird because it's weird that I'm making a big deal out of it. But our last, again, normal blue to red lightsaber, no curvy stuff, no anything like that, hasn't been since 2005
In live action.
in live
No.
action. Yes. Again, Kylo's doesn't count because he had the cross he had the unstable cross guard.
Right.
Maul and Ahsoka did fight in Clone Wars, but then it's animated.
Right.
And we
We
had
had
multiple.
Anakin and Dooku multiple times, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and so it's crazy. We're gonna get it potentially as soon as next week.
Yeah, we might potentially see the big boy. But we get back to episode 1. We were introduced to this Nari individual, right? Nari is a former Jedi, um, very aloof, I would say, very lost, obviously, and
Yeah,
he comes up to Ben, right? Comes up to Ben Kenobi as he's calling himself. Which, by the way, I don't know if you heard this, but do you know how he got that name?
no, I mean I know
Uh,
it, but I don't know off the top of my head.
in the new Brotherhood book, it's stated that Satine gave him that nickname. So it's a
Oh,
nice little Easter egg.
oh, Legends.
Um,
He got it in another way.
how did he get it
And
in Legends?
how did he get it? I know he got it different in Legends. Hold on.
I like the Satine reference though. That's
I
good.
did too. Because here's the thing. I mean, you talked about it when I called you
No, no,
earlier.
no. I'm talking about the
No,
Satine
I know, no,
reference
no,
with
no.
Ben.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I we talked about it earlier. I think I'm fully on board about the Padme reference.
Yeah. I don't know how you thought Satine at first. I was like,
I mean, come
really?
on, tell me, you didn't even get an ounce of okay. This girl is giving some Satine vibes with how she's talking. I literally just was like, oh my god, this girl could rule the Mandalore with how she's talking. Like, also, it's like it's weird because I loved little Leia. Again, I forgot her name. Sorry.
Vivian
Uh,
Lyra Blair, I
yeah,
believe.
so I'll call her Vivian. I love Vivian's
Right.
acting. I was
She's
actually
fantastic.
I was really expecting to go online and be like, "Oh, this girl can't act."
Right.
No,
I was expecting a Jake Lloyd. I was really worried we were gonna get
yes,
Jake Lloyd 2.0.
no, and the biggest complaint was that she's the Flash all of a sudden, and could
Which is
outrun
it's just a
Ford really.
joke. It's a funny joke at this point.
Yes. Um.
I don't know how she got slower in A New Hope. She got distinctly slower in A New Hope.
Yeah, I said this to you.
Yeah.
I don't know where the Speed Force was with her in episode 4. That girl was running at 1 mile per hour.
Uh,
Um,
but yeah, she is really good. She's really witty. She's one of the better parts of the show. I
oh,
really love the scene where she's talking to her cousin, and her cousin's like, you talk to droids, you thank your droids. And by the way, was that 3PO we saw? I'm pretty sure we
yes.
saw 3PO. Yes.
Subtitles labeled at C3PO.
Yeah, of course, because
I
he's
looked
always
it
going to
up.
be in it.
It was always been Satine, even in Legends. But I could have sworn there was another story that explained him getting the name in a much different manner.
I thought he got it from like a townsfolk or
That's
something
what
like
I
that.
thought. Also, I thought
Yeah,
somebody called him in Legends Crazy Ben or Crazy Old Ben. But
right,
Mandela effect.
right,
Um,
yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
but Vivian was great. Was
yes,
fantastic. Like
such a good one. I hope we get to
really,
see. I hope we get to see young Luke act. I hope we get to see it.
I what I really appreciate is that we've kind of, like Luke's story comes later. His journey is later,
Yeah.
right? My only thing though is like Leia's message now in A New Hope is very weird. It's like she hasn't met Ben.
Well, here's my thing. I don't remember anything from when I was 10 years old. So, but then again,
Well,
I would hope she would remember getting kidnapped and then
kidnapped
rescued.
and presumably taken off of Alderaan for the first time ever in her life, and
Yeah.
then being captured by Space Jesus.
I love that he still looks like Space Jesus. By the way, I love that they
And
give
he
him
still
some
has
of the
the hair,
hair.
bro. He's fixing it like he's walking through the hallway. And he's still like,
Yes, I also love it when he's on the ground of Dayu and he does the beard twirl.
yeah,
I was just like, yes, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
this is
I bet Ewan was telling everybody on set, like, do we have a scene where I twirl my beard? That's not Obi-Wan if I'm not doing that.
no.
But I
But
think
yeah,
like
so we see our Bria. Is that
Bria and Bale, yeah.
Bria? Yeah, correct. We see the politics, a little bit of the politics of Alderaan, which was really cool to see. I mean, that's the most we've really seen Alderaan
Yeah.
besides a couple of Clone Wars episodes.
I have a question. Do we know when Andor takes place canonically in the timeline? Is it around the
Five
time of
years, 5 years before Rogue One, so
Oh,
4 years after this.
yeah. So I'm thinking, you know, like what do you think is going like cuz again, we're told that Kenobi in some way does connect to the Mandoverse. I'm s- I'm
Do
lacking
you
where
think there's
that's
a
going to
connection
happen.
here? I don't think there's. I think it's just.
Mm,
I really just think it's just piecing together Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
I don't know because again that Vanity Fair video talked about how these stories were all interconnected and that included Kenobi. I'm gonna go for the interconnection is that they're just on Tatooine. That's the
Correct.
connection that I want.
Everything is on Tatooine. I
Because look,
thought. Well,
yes,
I'm glad that we left it in one episode because I'm kind of getting sick or tired of it. I mean, we did see Anchorhead though. We
yeah,
haven't seen Anchorhead ever, so that was really cool.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the greatest interaction in the show so far, the Jawa and him. That was fantastic. It was
Yes,
so
he's got
funny.
a friend. If you're going to steal my parts, you can at least clean them. It literally though, what's so amazing is that when I watched that scene, I was like, that's not something Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan would have said. That's something James Arnold Taylor Obi-Wan Kenobi would have said. That felt Clone Wars Obi-Wan. That didn't
Hmm.
feel Revenge of the Sith. That felt like that man was digging up some 3 years of sass out of him.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes. And then I think we haven't even talked about it yet. There's two things that in this series we haven't even talked about yet. I think I'm going to talk about the first one. It's pretty fast. Talk about the clone trooper interaction.
Alex, bro, that broke me.
Heartbreaking, heartbreaking.
It was probably my favorite moment, and we'll get to the big moment. But
Yeah,
it's such a brief moment, but it's like, first off, Tamora Morrison,
yeah. I mean,
obviously.
I can almost guarantee that Kenobi either got done filming or was filming around the same time as the Book of Boba Fett. So they were just like,
Plus,
"Hey."
he could definitely pull off a young or old Rex after.
It was weird how many people thought that was Rex. I was genuinely surprised. I was like,
Yeah,
no,
no,
we know where Rex is right now. But then
right,
again, Rebels isn't as popular as this show, so
right.
can't gatekeep too
But
much.
it was like, oh, man,
It's
like,
again, it's like you could just see how unsettled he was. He's just
right.
like,
Because this is also probably a clone that fought alongside Obi-Wan and Anakin.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
He's the
like you have to,
501st.
yeah, like you have to think, like, yes, Obi-Wan was the commander of the 212th. I mean, come on, he was basically the general also of the 501st. Like
Right,
they basically shared two battalions.
right. They wherever the 212th was, the 501st was. It's like
Yeah, I
basically
mean,
they were
yeah.
at the same spot.
Like take Clone Wars season 7, second battle of Geonosis,
Right.
like all of that. I mean, think one of the only major events that I can think about where they were separated was Order 66.
Yeah.
And that's because they were trying to kill Obi-Wan and they were trying to march with Vader.
Right. Right. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
such a harp, and it was so unexpected, and it was so good. And it's
Yeah.
really the first time we hear about the clones being decommissioned, and we never know about their lives afterwards. But
Yeah.
now we finally get to see it. Like, just
Yeah.
he's homeless. He's the once mighty have fallen now, and
Yeah.
he's
How the mighty have fallen.
it was so sad. It was so heartbreaking. Spare any change for a veteran?
Yeah.
I was so sad. It was like actually, bro. Like that one actually broke me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
But talking about breaking, we have to talk about the big scene at the end of episode 2, Obi-Wan's revelation that Anakin survived the fight.
I really wish it was him finding out on his like confronting Vader. Like,
No, honestly, there are some moments in fiction that I'm just like, no, you could not have done that any different. I would not
okay,
accept it any different. This is one of those moments for me where I'm just like, no,
really,
no, I wouldn't accept it if he found out in the most likely cantina. I wouldn't have accepted. No, it had to be Reva boasting to him about. Now again, I also brought this up to you when we were on the phone. How does Reva know that Anakin is Vader? Because we have to remember in the timeline of Star Wars, Anakin Skywalker died a hero of the Republic.
according to propaganda, yes,
Yes,
yeah,
according to propaganda, Anakin died a hero. But and we know if anybody found out that Anakin was Darth Vader, Vader would he would unprioritize anything but that person to kill them. There was only few people who knew and who lived to tell the tale. And the two people that come to mind are Palpatine and Thrawn. Tarkin
Tarkin,
Tarkin didn't know. He was able to start piecing everything together, and he basically came to the conclusion at around zero BBY or zero ABY,
right?
like whatever you want to say it. But you know what happened in zero ABY and zero BBY?
He kind of
He
blew up.
died.
He kind of blew up.
So
Thrawn
so
definitely know.
Thrawn knew. In the books, Thrawn even remarks to Vader that he knows.
Yeah.
So
But Vader doesn't do anything because why would you do
no,
that to Thrawn?
no.
Yeah, it's very odd. And I heard some people like saying that, oh, she doesn't know. She's just, saying like Anakin's alive. But she makes it, she
No.
says, first off, he's coming. I'm going to bring you to him. And then it's like, Anakin's alive. Why would she talk about Anakin after saying Vader?
Yeah, again, it's like nobody knew. And again, trust me, go read the comics. Anybody who did find out didn't live to tell the tale.
No. I mean, look
So
at, I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan goes, or no, Vader goes to Mon Cala, and there's a group of rogue Jedi there, and one of the Jedi Masters knows Anakin is Vader, and he just murks him.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a really well done scene though. Just looking at, we didn't even need to see Ewan say anything. It was just
Yeah.
his eyes. His
And then
eyes get really
yeah.
big and fearful. Like,
And then yeah, again, it he might have been doing it silently, or maybe it might have been a thing where it was like the audio was cut out. You could just tell that man was like heavy breathing, was going
right,
he's like trying to catch his breath. But then the thing that made the scene for me, Obi-Wan getting shaken to his core wakes Vader up in his back to tank.
yeah. Vader
And
sensed that.
wow. I mean, Vader knew he was alive. Reva even remarks that he's been looking for him for years.
Right.
And so it's just like, it's crazy. Because again,
Now,
we still have to get to the point, by the way, that Vader doesn't know if Obi-Wan's alive by the time of Star Wars Rebels. But he kind of does.
right. If he lives. If he lives. Which is very odd because the show kind of has to end with them. I feel like it's got to end with like a kind of thing like, I don't know, like they both fall off a cliff or something
Yeah.
like that and they both think they die. Um, it's got to be something along those lines
Yeah.
because,
I mean, it's crazy because that scene at the end, I mean, I don't know how you interpret it. I interpret that scene at the end where Vader wakes up. I think it was not only Obi-Wan being shaken to his core, but that was Obi-Wan reaching out to Anakin. He speaks his name, and those eyes awaken. And it's weird. I don't know if you saw this also, Did his eyes look red instead of yellow to you?
I didn't notice it.
They didn't look right to me, but I could be crazy.
I didn't
Um,
notice it. It was. I will say it's. I agree with you because he's. I really feel like that he truly. Do you think? You think Obi-Wan truly believed that Anakin was dead?
yeah,
I mean, because we have to remember, like, we have the blessing of being the audience. The last time Obi-Wan has saw Anakin was literally Anakin burned and alive. There's no way he assumed
yeah. I
that he
mean,
lived, even though he sensed the Emperor coming. He couldn't have assumed that the Emperor was going to do anything with him. Um, but I also think what ticked him was the name Vader, right?
yeah,
Um, he does he know? I can't remember on Mustafar that he's called Vader at that point. Does
yeah.
Anakin tell him that?
No, because when he and Yoda go
Oh,
through the archives,
yes,
Palpatine tells
yes,
Lord
right,
Vader to rise.
right, right.
Rise. You may
So he
rise.
knows that, and when he hears that and he pieces it together, he's horrified.
Yeah.
Now
And
he also doesn't know what Anakin looks like at this point.
I
Doesn't know
just
what he's become.
I cannot wait to see maybe like Obi-Wan look at like a hologram of Vader. You gotta think it's gonna be a small hologram. Funnily enough, like probably like the size of this. He's gonna be like this tall. Anakin, you've gotten shorter since the last time I've seen you. And then like even Ewan said in interviews, like he was menacingly tall.
Right.
Like, just think, like, what do you like, Drew? Going into episode 3 and their first encounter, what do you think that first interaction is?
I think Obi-Wan's gonna get the shit kicked out of him.
Dude, I just want to know how it starts.
Right. I wonder what they say to it. Like, what do you think they
Yes, that's what I want to know.
do? You
Like,
think? I'm more curious about what. Well, I think Obi-Wan's really gonna try to bring him back.
yeah, I mean,
I think there's a desperate
yeah,
attempt.
like we have to think at this point in the timeline, Vader has considered going back and finding Obi-Wan not to kill him, but to go back to the light side multiple times.
Right, because he always thinks about what his life would be if he didn't become
Yeah.
Vader. I
So,
really think there could be a moment, like he has with Ahsoka, right, where he kind of looks when he fights Ahsoka, he kind of looks down real quick, takes that breath, and then he's like, "Then you will die braver than most." He should have that moment with Obi-Wan
mm,
before they fight, like where he pauses
yeah,
and you think he's gonna go back, but obviously he's not going to, and then they fight.
yeah.
And I think first off, this is another conversation we kind of had. I still think Obi-Wan is using the Force, but I don't know how in tuned he is with it. I really don't know at all.
Again, bro, that man almost got the Soul Stone at the end of this episode. At the end of episode 2, like,
Yeah,
I mean, like he almost let that little girl die. Like,
yeah,
Splatasha splat on the ground.
right.
And then it's like my favorite thing also was hearing the pedestrian. Oh, she's all right. like I think the audio guy didn't know, like didn't prop hook that guy's mic on well, because the mic was like right here. Oh, she's okay.
That's so
So
funny. Yeah, yeah.
I literally died laughing. I was like, oh. So I was just like, who did that?
Right.
Who spoke that loud?
Um, yeah. Um, because I think he still is in tune to the Force, right? Because he's got to communicate with He's trying to communicate with Qui-Gon. He's very
Yeah,
still intuitive. Um, like he kind of knows when Nari is coming, I guess. Um, he's just not actively using the
yeah,
Force how we normally know it. He still has it, but
yeah.
his skills definitely not are not as in tuned
Yeah,
because
the best way
yeah.
to do it is like what I told you on the phone earlier. Is what Ahsoka was telling.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my
Oh
god.
God. Oh no. I unplugged everything.
Oh man. All right, but yeah. So my thing is like Obi-Wan obviously still has the Force, but to
Yeah.
what magnitude is he in tune with it? I am not sure. Obviously, not very well, as he almost let Leia die. So yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry. Technical difficulties. My
yeah,
chair.
yeah.
My,
I was just saying. Yeah, I was just talking about the fact that I think Obi-Wan still obviously has to have the Force, and has been
yeah.
somewhat in tune with it, but he's definitely
Yeah.
not actively practiced.
I mean, it's like what I told you on the phone and what Ahsoka said in The Mandalorian season 2. The less you use it, the more it fades away, and the less you
Right.
become in tune to it. And if you get to a point where you don't use it, you lose the ability. And
Absolutely.
so that's what I'm thinking. I think he's actively using it, like to try to commune to others, because we know he has to, because he's communicating with Yoda. And so
Right.
that's what I'm thinking, is that he's using it, but he's not actively like doing force pushes or doing force pulls.
And he's obviously not using the lightsabers because they were buried in the middle of a desert.
Yes. Also, another thing I pointed out when we were on the phone, Obi-Wan randomly tinkered with it and made it look like the episode 4 prop. And then was just
Yeah.
like, you know what? Let's just bury these.
Yeah, it's very odd because I do think for a certain period of time on Tat. Now, again, this is still a really long time after Revenge of the Sith. It's a full decade.
Yeah.
Um, so I think at one point he may have been training still, but he may have just like he's. I mean, think about it. If you were on a desert planet just cutting meat,
Yeah.
you would lose your mind too. And then to have severe PTSD on top of it,
Yeah.
um, which is another very good scene. Him in the cave when he dreams.
Yeah.
Uh, and he has all the nightmare, or it's not even nightmares. It's just him seeing everything that's happened with Anakin, Padme, just
Yeah.
reliving his life. Qui-Gon, and he's played a big role in the story. Qui-Gon. I was
Yeah. Weirdly,
surprised.
without even showing, without even saying a word, he's important.
Right. It's like that's awesome. Obviously, I think Qui-Gon's one of the more underrated characters in Star Wars. Um, so that's been really cool to see that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, what else do you want to talk about?
Um, I mean, the music's really good. I'll give him that.
The
John
theme's
Williams.
good.
Yeah.
John Williams' theme is very good.
Yeah. Um, I will say it was a little jarring to see Obi-Wan basically tell someone to go kill themselves.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
it was,
I mean, it's obviously meant to show us that how much he's fallen, but it was
yeah,
like, damn.
it was literally just like I had to like pause the episode. I was just like, oh, oh my, what has
He's just
happened?
like, go to town, bury everything.
Live a normal life. Go to town where the three inquisitors who just
Inquisitors
chased you
are.
down. Go to them.
Go
Die.
to them.
It's also like it's weird. They always are referencing burying sand, which by the way, man, everybody who was hating on Ray for burying the lightsaber in the sand, gotta hate on Obi-Wan because he did the same thing.
Started the trend, man. Started the
I
trend.
know, bro. Come on, Obi-Wan. Burying shit in sand. I mean, you gotta think Anakin probably hates himself. He buried his mother in sand.
Correct.
He probably.
Correct.
Oh. Could you imagine if instead of burning the armor of Darth Vader, Luke brought it to Tatooine and buried
That would have been funny.
all of Anakin is buried in Tatooine. All of
That would have
them.
been funny.
Um, it's weird though. It's weird how many lightsabers are being told to get buried under the sands of Tatooine. Maybe
It's a
one
good
day.
place to bury him. And by the way, that's another reason I think Obi-Wan's using the Force because he had absolutely no marker of where to he put this.
Yes, I. If you're gonna try and tell me no, Obi-Wan definitely knew where. No, he
He just
didn't.
knew where his lightsabers were, even though they were buried in the
No,
middle of the desert.
he was
A
almost
desert that's
definitely, yeah.
shifting all the time.
Yeah, he was almost certainly calling out to his kyber crystal.
Right. Uh he brings Anakin's lightsaber with him, right? Do we see it or no?
No, he brings just his. Oh, could you imagine if he fights Anakin with it?
That's what I'm saying, dude. I really think he does have both on him right now.
Yeah, because we know at one point when he fights Luke in the comics, he's like, "I know this lightsaber." But
Right.
it's weird if you know that comic panel. He's almost talking about it like I've seen that, but I don't know where I've seen it before. But I know almost certainly if the Darth Vader that we're being described to in this show by Hayden Christensen is true, well, that man is gonna know that saber. He will. Ooh, he's gonna break it. He's gonna break it.
I think it would be awesome if, especially in that first fight where I think Obi-Wan's gonna lose, that he has the saber, his saber, and he loses it
Hmm.
somehow, and then he has to use Anakin's, and that just puts Vader in a full rage.
Yeah.
And eventually Vader wins that first fight against Kenobi. Uh, but another thing I want to touch on is something I really appreciated with the bounty hunters and stuff. All new.
Yes.
Nothing
No repeats.
new aliens too, new looking
Yeah.
designs on familiar creatures and stuff. It felt very Star Wars, and I told Alex today it felt very very much like an Obi-Wan story. Like Obi-Wan just has no idea what's happening. Like it feels
Yes.
very Attack of the Clones in nature. Like Obi-Wan is like trying to solve the greatest mystery in the gap. Like literally,
Mhm.
Obi-Wan is put in like the most high pressure moments in Star Wars. Like this dude had to figure out who the Separatists were. This dude basically had to solve who was killing the Chancellor in the Clone Wars multiple times. Um,
Yes.
and then now here, he's basically like responsible for making sure now not just one, but two of the most powerful Force children in the galaxy at this point don't get in the hands of the Empire and die, or actually not die, but become Vader
Inquis-
or whoever's
Inquisitors or something.
uh man, maybe Palpatine would change the. What do you think Palps would do if he had Luke and Leia and Vader?
Shit, rule of four, baby.
Rule of four, man. Hey,
Yes, sir. Let's get the rule of four
that would
going.
be so bad for Palpatine, especially when they were older. He's no way he's
He
beating
would
Leia,
literally,
Luke, and Vader.
they would find out that they're Vader's children. They'd be like, "Hey, yo, let's just kill this guy." like,
Right.
like who? What's his relationship to us? He said I could save your mother. Well, did you? No.
No.
Oh, so then let's kill this man.
Let's kill this man. Um.
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Yeah. By the way, we're not going to see him probably. Weird.
Now, Ian McDermott said, like, don't get your hopes up.
But I think he's going to be an Andor.
Yes, he
We'll
is
touch
the
on that
Senate.
later. We'll touch on
He
that later.
listen. He is the Senate. We saw the Senate. He is the Senate.
Um.
I am the Senate.
But to go back to Kenobi, so there's some controversy now. People think the Grand Inquisitor is dead and Rebels is no longer canon. I've seen somebody make that argument already. Very
Friends.
odd, especially since Thrawn and Ezra Bridger are coming to live action here. Um, so
And
it
literally
was
one of
very
the
odd though. Like they kind of did stab him though, like right down the middle. Like just they couldn't have done it like on the side.
look. Here's my thing, and I'm gonna say this now. Read the comics. Vader puts those son of a bitches through way worse than being stabbed. He puts them through way worse than being stabbed.
Oh yeah.
So if you think Riva stabbing Grand Inquisitor is bad, go read what that man has done to those guys.
Vader tortures them, bro. Just toys with them.
He literally cut one of their limbs off just for the fun of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was just like failure. Sink. No, well, it'll you can get a new one.
Right. Yeah, it's Star Wars, man. You can get a new one.
Exactly. You can
Yeah.
just go to the mod place from
Right.
the Book of
Right.
Boba Fett, and you can just get some
I
mods.
wonder what they're doing right now. You think they're just still vibing? I mean, I know it's before their show, but they're probably vibing. It was mod.
Maybe those speeders were just created, and maybe those guys are the living incarnation of the speeders from the mods. That's how slow they were. It literally was like, I was like, okay, while the chase was happening, I was like, okay, now they're gonna get her. Okay, she ran under a branch. Okay, step over it. Oh my god, this son of a bitch can't walk. Oh, he has to
He
go over
tripped.
it.
He
Yes,
tripped
yes,
over one.
yes,
No, there was one he could have clearly gone under, but he decides to just run straight into it, even though he sees it.
yeah,
Like Leia just ducks under it, and this dude's like, "Let me run full speed right into it." I'm like,
yes.
"What are you doing, bro?"
I know. It's like, you know what I was more hoping for in this? I think if I could change episode two, one of the ways that I wish I would have seen Leia show some force ability. Like maybe what I would have had her do is like, you know how like Ezra at the beginning of Star Wars Rebels inadvertently does like force jumps and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, especially in the second part of episode one when they're
Right.
on Corel or yeah, Kessel, and he
Okay.
jumps over Callus.
Okay.
I wish we would have seen something like that. Like she successfully makes the jump, and we hear like the force sound effect of "ooh." So yeah,
Yeah, that would have been really interesting. By the way, the like one of the last things I want to touch on is Owen,
yes,
Uncle Owen. So I,
son of a bitch, man.
yeah, I made the point today when we were talking on the phone that like his attitude, I
It
get it.
it's so weird because it's so understandable that he feels the way that he does, but he's such a dick that it's just like, oh my goodness, take a step back. Like, who are you? And his whole thing, I didn't do that for you.
Then why didn't you just out him there? Like
You,
you said,
you
you literally just said you don't want him there.
all you literally had to do, raise your arm up, right there.
Kenobi.
There's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, that's all you had to do. But he's like, I didn't do it for you. Who'd you do it for then? Baru? Like, it's
It's
his
so odd
attitude.
too because he's like, yeah, I'm Luke's uncle, but like in Attack of the Clones, he's like, yo, Anakin, I guess we're stepbrothers.
Yeah,
It's so weird to me that he's like, and I understand it, right? Because he has raised Luke. I mean,
yeah.
Ben's. I don't know why I keep calling him Ben.
He is
He
Ben.
he is Ben. Obi-Wan's like watching over him, but Owen's done all the work in Baru.
Yeah, and it's also just like he's like, "Oh, you don't care how he is. You just care if he's showing." Yes, yes, I would
Yes,
care. I would really care if some random little kid from Tatooine was showing force sensitivity. And
right.
what is that little kid's last name?
Oh, I believe it's
Skywalker.
Skywalker.
Oh,
Wait,
yes.
is that?
And
I have a question. Is that the same planet that the pod racing champion of the Boonta Eve Classic came from?
Anakin Skywalker. I could have sworn Anakin Skywalker also was like a Jedi Knight of the
Wait,
Republic.
was that Homestead the same place that his mom, Shmi Skywalker, was eventually sold to?
Phew.
I'm just connecting
Great.
dots here, Alex.
I know. It's just crazy. It's just like I don't want to call it bad writing because it's not because he's justifiably mad at Obi-Wan for what happened with Anakin.
Right.
But it's just like, bro, he's like watching over Luke and your entire family,
Correct.
giving you guys like supplies and whatnot.
Well, plus, it's very odd that he says you only care that he's showing when Obi-Wan literally buys him a toy and you just throw it at him.
Yeah, and it's like
Very odd.
yeah, it's just like I don't understand Owen's like lack of care for Luke showing his force abilities. It's just like,
Well, it's
yeah, I would be concerned also because, you
right.
know, especially at a time like right now when they're there, oh, you know, three Inquisitors are there, and
Correct. Correct.
one of them is the Grand Inquisitor.
Correct. Yes. Who is the probably at this point, because Obi-Wan's obviously not very in tune with the Force, and Yoda's not as well. I mean, Yoda more so, but Yoda's masking it because of Dagobah and its
Yeah.
weird power set. The Grand Inquisitor at this time is the third most powerful Force user in the galaxy.
I mean, yeah, like by all means, yeah.
So, yeah. What would you rate these two episodes?
I would rate episode 1. I'd rate it probably like a 7.5 out of 10. I'm not thinking about it. There wasn't much of a talking point on episode 1 now that I'm noticing compared to episode 2.
Correct.
Episode 2, I feel got the pacing right, the time right. Again, introduced us to our first speedster in Star Wars, Leia Organa. So
Correct.
it's just, yeah, I'd give episode 1 a 7.5, and I'd give episode 2 a 9 out of 10. So
I'd give episode 1, and I haven't rewatched. I haven't got time to rewatch episode 2. I'm gonna get episode 1 an 8. First time I watched it was a 7 or a 7.5. Next time was like an 8.5, 8.25, and then this time I settled in on an 8. And then I think I'm gonna give episode 2 an 8.5. Very well paced, fast, short episode, like 30 minutes of content. Oh shit, we didn't even talk about Kumail Nanjiani's character.
Haja
Fantastic.
Haja the Jedi, everybody.
Fantastic. Scumbag, bro. It's only gonna be 800 credits.
Yes, 1,000 if you want me to bring it to you.
Right. And then Obi-Wan is just like, yo, stop doing this, man.
Yeah, and I also like, again, that when Obi-Wan is acting with, whenever him and Camille are on screen, again, that doesn't feel like Ewan McGregor Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. That feels like James Arnold Taylor Clone Wars Obi-Wan. I love
sassy.
it. Deborah Chow, bro. Like, round of applause for her, because she has blended the two so well. It's actually crazy.
The one thing I will say is, and you had talked about this in Revenge of the Sith, one of the DVDs, is like, it was his last chance to make it feel like Alec Guinness. I'm not getting a lot of Alec Guinness.
No.
I'm not feeling it. I kind of wanted to feel a little bit more Alec Guinness.
I'm at the point where I wish the show honestly would have been set, instead of 10 years, probably 7 years.
Right, because 10 years, it's like very hard for me to think like.
And just like not even 9 years. That's Alec Guinness playing him.
Right. And even though like Leia makes a joke like, oh, your grandpa, it's like it still feels very much, and he's got what, like a few more wrinkles and some gray hair now. It's like it still very much feels like it's Ewan McGregor from episode 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I love these first 2 episodes, man. I can't speak highly enough. I can't quite say if it keeps this pace to be my favorite. It'd be one of the more consistent Disney Plus shows. It'd be like Moon Knight for me. It'd be very consistent and good.
Yeah.
To great. I don't think it'd have a hard time topping Mando.
Yeah.
But
also, by the way, I guess maybe I should tell you now. I've been planning the end of the year award ceremony for Disney Plus shows and all that, and movies.
It's May.
I know.
Gotta get prepared. It's a big show, guys. It's a big show, guys. Come on now.
It is. Okay, so here's my thing: is I was going into this year thinking, oh, we're getting like 3 Star Wars shows. I think like 1 Marvel show. No. We're getting like 6 Marvel shows, 60,000 Star Wars shows. So it's gonna be a lot. And we got movie of the year, worst movie of the year. I think we know where that movie that award goes to, but no spoilers. You'll find out in 7 months.
You just got morbed.
It's Morbin time, ladies and gentlemen.
Man.
But you know what else? It's Morbin time to talk about Andor. Let's go to Andor. No,
You want to
let's
talk
go to
about
Star Wars
Andor?
let's go to Star Wars Celebration as a whole, because then we can
All right.
branch off to Andor.
So let's talk about all of the stuff that has happened at Star Wars Celebration so far. It's only Friday. We still
Yeah.
have the
Saturday
Bad
and
Batch
Sunday.
panel and the final end of showcase thing, and then
And
Tales of the Jedi and Mando Plus Day, Mando Plus conversation tomorrow.
Plus.
So we still have a lot of stuff, but I think the big stuff was announced yesterday. So where do you
Yes.
want to start?
Do you want to kill two birds with one stone and get Andor out of the way right now?
No, we'll
Or
wait on
save it for
that.
the end? Okay.
Wait on that.
Skeleton Crew.
So John Watts is going to direct, correct, and be an executive
Direct.
producer.
Yes.
I can pull up the announcement. Going to be an executive producer alongside John and Dave.
And I do believe, by the way, this also got confirmed to be Grammar Rodeo. So
Oh, yes, it is. Will be in Jude Law. Judd
yes,
Law.
Jude Law will be starring Jude Law. It will be around, I think, 4 kids in the Star Wars universe who get lost. And
Yes.
the
Here's
way
the
that
announcement. It's an original series starring Jude Law from executive producers John Watts, Christopher Ford, Favreau, and Dave Filoni. It's gonna be streaming next year. So
yes,
obviously this is the show that they were talking about.
Grammar
We've been talking
Rodeo.
about for a couple of months now, Grammar Rodeo.
And
And this is obviously the reason John Watts left the Fantastic Four project.
yeah, it's also, again, very important to remember also that this show, one of the other descriptions that was given for it, it's a kids centered show, not for kids.
Correct.
It's been told that it's got the Clone Wars aesthetic to it with how dirty it gets. Now, what does that mean entirely? Well, in Clone Wars, we had a whole on screen, like there was no cutoff. We saw a guy jump off of a building and land on the ground.
Correct.
So
Yes.
we
So
saw a lot of beheadings also.
Dave says is it's a show that stars kids, but it's as much as for kids as the Clone Wars. So that obviously tells us that like this show's gonna have moments where it's dark, right?
I'm expecting the Moon Knight levels of dark.
Oh right, yeah. Really?
Yeah, I mean, like stuff where it's like, oh wow, that's dark, but then it's gonna be like, float like a butterfly, sing like a bee. My name's Steven, with like stuff like that. It's gonna be like, oh, there's gonna be the oh shit moments. Just kind of like again when we see Ahsoka, a 15-year-old decapitate 4 people.
Right.
So I mean, again, what does that mean with the Clone Wars kind of feel? It could be the D Squad arc. It could be
Oh,
Ahsoka
no.
beheading 4 people.
No.
So take that as you will. I'm excited. I believe this is going to fall in the Mandoverse also.
It is. So that's my thing. So it stars. So I assume these kids gotta be Force sensitives, right?
No, I hope not. I hope one of them is an alien and they're the main character. Get an alien main character because we haven't got that as far as I'm aware. Oh, until Ahsoka. But that
True.
girl's she's humanoid. Which also, on the brief vein of Ahsoka, briefly, because it's
Correct.
related, it's all connected.
Yeah, it's all connected to the celebration, right?
We're in the Mandoverse. The new look of Ahsoka for the Ahsoka TV series also came out. And
Felt
Jesus
much
Christ,
more Clone Wars and Rebels.
I've never, ever seen the most idiotic comments on Twitter with the most hypocrisy filled behind them. They were complaining it's too late to change it. That just creates continuity errors.
She's appeared what, twice?
Literally twice. Like, what do you mean it creates continuity errors? It's the design of a Montrol.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I wouldn't even listen. I wouldn't even have cared if they didn't change it.
Literally, I didn't care. It's like, yes, did it look weird that her montrals had wrinkles in them because they were foam? Sure. But like, I mean, did it take me out of the story where I was like, that's not Ahsoka?
Is it a little weird that like Ahsoka's modules have shrunk back to where they were in the Clone Wars years later? Sure, whatever. But like, no. I wasn't thinking
Yeah,
about that anytime she was on screen. I was thinking
no,
about the moments, the interactions
yes.
she was having. So yeah, and it's very exciting. They're working on that right now. That will also be released in 2023.
I
But back
thought
to this.
look, hold on. I thought 2022 was going to be stacked for Star Wars. 2023 is going to be stacked for Star Wars.
Absolutely. But back to Skeleton Crew. So that show is going to be filming here soon. It was under the alias Scramble Rodeo, but now it's Skeleton Crew. I assume. Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't want it to be Force sensitives, but I really think it's going to be.
I unfortunately agree. I think they're going to join the Mando crew, and they're going to be the Force sensitives of the group alongside Grogu.
Follow up Luke. It
Unfortunately,
makes
yes.
too much sense. No, this is the perfect show to have Luke. This is actually the
No.
perfect show to have Luke. Because one thing I will say about Skeleton Crew, while I am excited, it's pretty low on my list of excitement.
Okay. Oh, whoa. How are we going to have low list of excitement for the show? It just got revealed.
Right, but like, I understand it's gonna be, it's gonna have kid actors, and kid actors are hit or miss. To be fair, but they're kids. I don't. I'm. They're kid actors. They're kids. I don't really care. Um, and it's gonna have a hard time. I feel like getting a big. I mean, it'll get an audience because it's Star Wars, but it's gonna have a hard time generating the audience that Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and Kenobi would.
Hey, Stranger Things in Star Wars. That's one of the descriptions I got. So I'm gonna be confident.
I'm confident. Listen, I love John Watts. I think John Watts is perfect. Obviously, with Tom Holland in the MCU, another young superhero type character. Um, yeah, I'm really excited. Next year, we're gonna get it. I'm really curious. A lot of Mandoverse stuff next year. We're really gonna see how that
Yes.
universe is playing out.
What we
Um,
got?
it,
We got Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka, and The Mandalorian season 3.
and I love the name Skeleton Crew. What a name for a
Very.
show.
I have to say also on the vein of The Mandalorian, very weird that they released a teaser trailer at Celebration, but it's not coming out this year in December. Because if you're already showing a teaser trailer, that means you're already basically done with. You're already in the main stages of editing.
Right. Yeah, so
So
the show wrapped filming in, I believe, March, principal photography, and then some reshoots in April.
yeah,
So like a massively quick turnaround there, obviously.
yeah,
Um,
and some people were saying some of the shots looked unfinished. So like the one with the Salacious B. Crumb species, space
right.
monkey. A lot of people were saying that it didn't look 100% right. So there could be that. But I'm also
But
just saying if they're releasing a whole teaser trailer with voiceover and all that, I mean,
but damn, it looked really good.
it did. Like,
Even though it was leaked, dude, it looks like the quality keeps getting better and better with the volume. Obviously, we'll talk about Thor: Love and Thunder. And that has a movie budget, obviously, but that's the volume as well. And that
sure.
looks fantastic. But with the TV show budget and the volume, wow. Some of the shots, like the shots on Navarro, like Grief Cogger's look, Dr.
Yeah.
Pershing. And I want to ask, we've talked about we've exhausted conversation about Mandalorian season 3 since Mando season 2 ended in December of 2020, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's gonna be 2+ years, man. We've been waiting, and it's kind of good though, because we've kind of hit the reset button, and it's a new story here, almost like a continuation of Mando and Grogu, but now it's more focused on Din. We've already formed that connection. Now he's got to become the ruler of Mandalore. And I love the green logo. I mess with that.
I'm weird. Weird but true. Weird but true. Let's see. Season 1 was the like
Yellow.
sandy color. Season 2 was the like bluish purple sky color.
I
Then we
like
get
that.
green. We again weird but good.
Weird but good.
I
And
I do have a question for you.
go ahead.
Do you want the Mandalorian to get a 4th season?
Nope. I want this to be the end. I want Din to still be in the Mandoverse, but what story is there to tell after him sitting on the throne? What's there left to kind of tell? What's intriguing about?
You gotta think, man. From this point in the timeline, there's 25 years until The Force Awakens.
Right,
There's
you can
25
obviously
years
still tell
story.
stories with Dan, but it would have to be in
Mm,
a new way of doing it because like obviously this season, I mean, it's basically said in the trailer, he's trying to make up for his transgressions, right?
which, by the way, I hope that does not go more than 2 episodes.
Well, it's definitely it's definitely
It's going to
it's
go
gonna be
past
one of
2.
the issues that they
Yeah.
address, right? Because it's obviously gonna be the issue of uh Bo-Katan, because that lady is a power trip always.
Yeah.
Has to be sit on the throne.
Has to.
And the armor too. I'm very curious. Does the armor and Bo-Katan team up?
Maybe.
Because they're both pretty pissed at Din.
A member of the Watch and a member of the Death Watch teaming up. We'll never see it coming.
Ah, I understood that reference.
Yeah.
And Bo-Katan has that really weird line to Grogu, like, "Did you think your dad was the only Mandalorian?" I was like, "What?" This is very odd. It was like, is she trying to kill Grogu?
I know. Grogu force choked the fuck out of that girl. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
care. I don't care. Honestly, man, it's weird. And I don't know, maybe it's because I only saw the leak trailer. I'm getting impressions Bo-Katan might hit the dust. I think we're gonna see the end of Bo-Katan.
No, because I definitely think she comes back to her senses.
No,
A very Bo-Katan thing's gonna happen.
I just think, for me personally, I think a better story would be Bo-Katan died wanting the throne, and she died being second fiddle to her sister.
Because that would work for me. But also like I would get sorry, I have text going off. I don't know why this sorry. But
Yeah, you're fine. I got stuff going on too. You're good. You're good.
I don't understand why they would kill her. I mean I understand why you say that, but I don't understand why they would do it. I don't think they're going to. I think it's very much a Bo-Katan's nature for her to be on a power trip and then for her to be like, "Oh, I'm going to come to my senses now."
I would say, maybe something to put.
Plus Din needs a mentor and she would mentor him.
No, 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 no. I don't think Bo-Katan would mentor that guy. You know what she would mentor him to do? Give her the dark saber. Hey, you want to see a really neat trick? I need you to pull the dark saber off your belt, right? I want you to hold the very end of it from like the very top to the very bottom. Okay, and I'm gonna put my hand right here. Yoink! Now I'm the leader of Mandalore.
Right.
That's the scene that I want to go down. But
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about a 4th season.
No, I kind of want this. I mean, like you got to think about it though. There's like in the first season, there's what like 3 hours of content, 3+ hours. The second season, 3+ hours, and then the third season, please, 3+ hours. That's basically like 10 hours of content. That's basically like
A
4
trilogy.
movies, 4 or
Yeah.
5 movies. It's longer than a trilogy. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of you told the story of a lone gun warrior Mandalorian becoming the ruler of Mandalore. That's the story. That's the arc to me.
Yeah.
That's it. He's
Uh,
arced out at that point. It's kind of like Boba. Like Boba's point is becoming the bounty hunter, becoming the crime boss. Arced
yeah.
out after 4 episodes, as we saw.
I
So
will say, um, something that like I could potentially hope for is that Taika's movie that is coming out before Rogue Squadron and has I think is either planned release for late 2023. Maybe that's the Mandoverse movie, hopefully. Which I don't think it is, but I'm hopeful.
I
One can
doubt it.
hope. One can hope.
But to get back to the Mando 3 thing, we didn't touch on the fact that Persian is heavily featured in this trailer.
Weirdly, I
Uh,
know. He wasn't very heavily featured in season 2.
right. Until the
So
very end. But the only
yeah,
reason they needed him was to get to Gideon.
yeah,
So it makes me think that there's definitely something going on with the
yeah,
cloning. So there's definitely gonna be a little something with Grogu. So it's definitely not gonna be like you said, where, it's like Din trying to atone for his sins for a whole season.
yeah,
Uh, so I assume maybe the season begins with that, him
yeah.
trying to figure it out, and then there's like an aside where we do some Grogu stuff, and then we go to Mandalore. That's how I assume it goes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Uh, but I'm
Burning
really
it.
I think just on paper and in premise itself, I think it's got easily the potential to be the coolest thing we've seen, not just in the Mandalorian. I mean, it's gonna be super difficult to top what they've done the first 2 seasons, but
Yeah,
they've done the story so well to this point that they could very well easily top it, because now you get to basically have fun. You get to have a shit ton of Mandalorians. Um, you get to figure out what's going on with Persian and all that, and we also see Pelimoto talking to the I don't know the gentleman's name, but he's the Asian pilot, New Republic pilot. So that whole dynamic. There's a lot of stuff to juggle in this season. So and then we obviously see Mando looks like in a space fight with
bounty
other Mandalorians,
hunters, or yeah, something.
I would assume. So it looks like I really think basically though Bo-Katan and Din are gonna be on opposing sides. It's gonna be a civil war.
Civil War. Yes, sir. I'm
And Din's gonna
hopeful.
win. Because Din's better. Din's just the better Mandalorian.
Better Mandalorian, better character.
Plus, he doesn't know what's happening half the time, and it's gonna win.
Exactly. He's just like, we fought. I thought we were just having fun.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm the ruler now. Cool. Let me roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for the Mandalorian. So what else is there? So we got Skeleton Crew, Mando.
Big thing. I know this isn't on your realm. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order.
So
I don't. Did you watch
very
the trailer?
interested. I did. The description came out. It said like 5 years after Fallen Order itself. And what's weird
No.
is you don't see any of the crew.
No,
that
you
he's
only
with.
see Cal.
We see a person in a
Back.
cloning back to tank.
Maybe. I had a group of friends who were telling me that they think maybe they're trying to clone Cal, but why? I don't know.
But it looks like there's a girl in there.
I know I don't know, but hey, Omega. I would say this. I'm a little jarred with some of the trailer. And one of those things that I'm very jarred about is a certain pasty white boy's in this too. The Grand Inquisitor is the Wong of Star Wars. He's everywhere.
I hate to tell you, it's actually not.
It's Darth
It's
Vader, but
it's confirmed to be an Utapawan senator.
no. There's no way that's just any Utapawan senator. I'm pulling up the trailer. Those are
I'm
definitely.
pretty sure I read something. I could be lying to you, but I'm pretty sure I read something that says that's just a Utapau senator.
I would be
Uh,
very shocked if that's just a random Utapau soldier. Hold on. You gotta pause my music really fast. Now I have to listen to
okay.
it.
It's a Powan character is an Imperial senator, and this is confirmed via Star Wars.
Hold on.
I mean, it's literally confirmed from Star Wars, so I would hope it's not the Grand Inquisitor.
But why? Why pick this species? You know who's gonna be associated with it.
The description is an Imperial senator makes What is Cal doing? This is very odd after that game ended. Like, it feels much darker, and it feels, I know it's weird, it feels Force Unleashed-ish.
Yeah, I mean his look is. I like his look in this, by the way, a lot
Yes.
more. I love the scruffle. I love. He just looks older. We still got
Who
BD
is
one.
also technically older here, so.
Yeah, 5 years older, which puts this around. Guess what?
Kenobi.
Kenobi. Cal's gonna be in Kenobi. I'm joking. Don't take my word on that.
He's wrong, guys. Sorry.
I'm just saying, like, who is this hooded figure? If you go to the trailer, like, who is this guy? And why does Cal look like he's doing a Kyle Katarn cosplay? Like,
Cal's lightsaber falls into yeah. Bro, I thought for a second I heard Maul's voice. Like, what?
It's what it feels like. Tell me, Cal Kestis.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like the crew's gonna be MIA in this. I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't know where Grease and Seer are.
Now
Or-
again, I don't really
agree.
have much of a connection with these characters because, like, I really didn't play the game.
I love them. I beat the game 5 times.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just.
Sorry. I ordered
don't-
groceries, and this son of a bitch has been at the place for 20 minutes just waiting for my stuff to come out.
I don't know. It feels very weird. It just feels Force Unleashed-ish. I don't know what's going on with this cloning thing.
I don't know either. It's like it looks like it's a woman, but I don't know.
And also another interesting thing is like the fact that, like, at the end of Fallen Order, Cal's like, we gotta find. Well, he smashes the thing with all the Jedi, right? That all the listed Force sensitives, correct? That holocron.
Mhm.
I always thought that his journey was gonna be to start his own thing, own Jedi Order thing. But obviously that's not it. I don't know. It feels very weird though. I like the direction they're taking though. It feels darker, feels seedier. Something weird's going on, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Definitely feels more like Cal's more in the underworld now, very much so, right? So
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of.
I thought it was the Grand Inquisitor too until I read that.
It's just, to me, I'm just like, but why?
Why would you
Why?
make it like that? Because everyone's going to associate him with the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, it's just like when you if you see a Togruta, who are you gonna associate that to?
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. If you see a Twi'lek, I'm gonna associate that with Aayla Secura.
Right.
And so it's just like, or if you see people, or if you saw a Mandalorian silhouette, you're gonna associate that either with the Mandalorian or Boba Fett.
Probably Din.
And so it's just like, Like I hope there's deliberate thing. I wonder why they picked an Imperial senator as a bad guy for this. I wonder who the antagonist is gonna be, because Vader is after Cal. So
I thought Vader was in the tank. I thought Vader was just gonna be sent after him.
that's what I thought. Because my thing is this: is there's no way Vader gets on your trail and then you just don't hear from the Ghost Crew.
Well, but that was kind of different though. Vader was more after Ahsoka. He didn't. I
Yeah,
mean, look what he did to Ezra in literally like 2 seconds. I don't care.
yeah,
Like, I know Ezra takes a big power jump in season 3, but my boy Vader is wiping Ezra, even season 3 and 4 Ezra, in like a minute. I don't care if
yeah,
he's got damn Purgle with him. Uh, my dude is wiping him.
yeah. Also, now that I remember it, Kenobi had a Purgle reference.
True.
I forgot. Now that you mentioned them. We're yawning a lot, and we still have a lot to talk about.
Correct.
I'm yawning because I have not had anything basically to eat or drink all day. So I'm waiting for my groceries to get here because I'm starving right now.
I got up at 3 o'clock to watch him, so sorry.
I was up at 3, but I was like, no, I want to wait until I get something to eat to watch this. But yeah, odd choice of the species. I'm excited. It's incentivizing me to get my PS5 now rather than later. I mean, it already
Right,
was
because they're only
Spider-Man
selling it
2,
on next gen, correct?
next gen and PC. Yeah. So I'm next year is going to be a big time for Star Wars, not only on the streaming side, potentially movie side, but Marvel also, but for the gaming side. I think Spider-Man 2 comes out next year for the PS5. I might be wrong about that, but no, it is 2023. Yeah, I am right. So it's a big time, big time next year.
Yeah, a lot of Star Wars stuff. I thought, yeah, like you said, we thought 2022 was going to be big. 2023.
2023 is the big. This is just the beginning. Again, we haven't even really talked about the Taika's movie.
Yeah, so this was talked about by Kathleen Kennedy, and was in an interview. Wasn't even at Celebration. It was in an interview with Total Film, and she basically said like Taika's movie's in 2023, but she also said that nothing's been put in, even though Rogue Squadron's still listed as the 2023 movie. I don't think that movie's going to even happen now. She
No,
also made a comment saying that their stories are going to take place post-sequel era. So Taika's story is going to be post-sequel trilogy.
mm,
But also, I don't know how Taika's going to do this, because Taika literally just got done with Love and Thunder, and I thought he had another project before this.
well, no, I don't think he does. I don't know. He might, but even then, I mean, you got to think he has till December of 2023. So, I mean,
Right.
realistically, he has until what? Probably like April or May of 2023. So, he's got
Yeah,
time.
but it's really weird. Like, there's been no casting. There's been
No,
nothing. Is he even
no.
done with the script?
Who knows? That man better
He's
get
got to
done
be,
soon.
or close.
I mean, if that movie's coming out next year, he better be.
Right, right. I mean, late next year would make sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, like she was saying, but it's like
It's weird.
I don't want him to rush it because I feel like he's just so talented. I worry about that if they rush that, because he's so special and so talented. Obviously, with Ragnarok and the little we've seen from Love and Thunder, how good that looks, and the
Yeah.
stuff he's done with the Mandalorian. I'm slightly worried that they're gonna rush him, and who knows about Patty Jenkins? Because I am, somewhat excited for Rogue Squadron.
Patty Jenkins
Uh,
just cannot get a good relationship with Disney.
yeah,
Bad when she was the original director for Thor: The Dark World. Didn't get along with Disney when it came to the writing process.
no,
And then here's this stuff with the Rogue Squadron. Can't get along with Lucasfilm with the writing.
right. So I I don't know. We'll see. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't think that film's gonna happen just in general. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Taika's movie in 2023. Don't get me wrong. Super excited. I think
Yeah.
Taika is super talented. I hope he uses the volume. I
Mhm.
obviously know he's gonna enlist the help of guys like John and Dave, and Taika's just hilarious. So like, he's
Yeah.
gonna work. Um, and I'm really excited for that. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, but that's really all we've got. Bad Batch season 2. I'm sure we'll get an official announcement date
Yeah.
and probably a teaser.
Yeah. Probably at the Bad Batch panel.
And hopefully we get something about Taika's movie Sunday. But it was really, really weird at the studio showcase that they showed more for Indiana Jones and
Willow.
Willow than
Yeah.
they did a Star Wars film, especially since we're supposedly a year or so out from a Star
Yeah.
Wars. Very odd, very odd. And I'm excited about all the stuff on streaming, but nothing beats a special Star Wars film, especially the annual December release that's
I'm gonna say, by the way, and like,
become so ingrained.
yes. In about 10 minutes, because we still have a lot to talk about.
Correct.
I think we should take like a 2 or so minute intermission break because my back is killing me right now, and I need to go get my groceries in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So in 10 minutes or so, we're gonna take like a 2 or 3 minute break, get up and stretch because this is definitely gonna be our longest show. Um,
Yeah, we still
I don't,
have two more topics to talk about.
two big like trailer topics to talk about
Correct.
also.
Yeah, we were idiots and didn't decide to break this up. Plus, we were
No,
also busy.
yeah. Also, hold on, because I'm
Please don't tell
honestly
me something else dropped.
no. I'm thinking right now that oh, I mean the Youngling project we didn't really talk
Well, I
about,
don't care. Nobody's.
and
It's
what's the other animated
oh, Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi. That's what it
That's
is.
tomorrow. That's just it.
Yeah.
That we'll hear about that tomorrow.
Because what I'm honestly thinking right now, if you want my honesty, my honesty, I think we should kind of like give it a break before we go into a new topic because I'm in scrambled brain mode. But give me 1 second.
Okay.
So hold on, because I'm on the Wars in the Stars like calendar. Okay, so oh my god, I forgot next week is the Miss Marvel preview.
Oh my God, Miss Marvel comes out. That's right. I totally forgot about that show coming out. Sorry, guys.
I'm just like, I literally am. I'm on here and I'm just like, oh my god, we are stacked. The next, like, let's see, Kenobi episodes 1 and 2 took us 58 minutes to talk about.
Right.
This we're a few weeks. It's going to be episode of Kenobi, episode of Miss Marvel, episode of Kenobi, Miss Marvel, Kenobi, Miss Marvel. There's 1 week where Miss Marvel is by herself, and that is June 29th.
But wait, isn't that? Oh no, the following week's the Thor: Love and Thunder preview, right?
Then the following week is Thor: Love and Thunder preview, Miss Marvel episode 5, and then a Thor: Love and Thunder review 2 days later. And then
Unreal.
and then I'm seeing, yeah, right now we have a huge. Oh no, you haven't updated this for Andor.
Right, that's in August though. So July
Yeah.
we have nothing.
Yeah, weird. Oh yeah, July and beginning of August we are free.
Yeah. So we're done. We're done with celebration, right? Yeah.
Yes. Unless there was something else that we missed. I don't think there was.
I don't think so.
Hold on. I'm going on Star Wars' Instagram because that's where they would have announced it. We did forget something. How could we forget the most important announcement, Drew? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation comes out August 5th. How could we not talk about that?
I have never watched the Lego Star Wars thing.
You
Sorry.
haven't watched the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special?
No.
Oh my gosh, you are troubled.
I
By the
am.
way, Holiday Special for Guardians this year is on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah, December.
Jeez, we're gonna move a Disney Plus movie, basically.
Right.
Yes.
Um.
Also, I guess we can talk about how amazing. Hold on. How amazing these posters are. You can't
They are
really see.
very good. Are we just waiting until you get your food?
Yes, because I can't talk about anything right now until I get like some sort of sugar in my body right now.
Yeah. So, if you're listening to this, we're taking a little break here, or like a semi, just
Yeah,
before
just
we
like
get
a
into our final two topics,
yes.
because we talked about Celebration for like 32 minutes and like
Kenobi
for
for
58.
58. So and
Um,
then yeah, crazy.
Andor, and then Thor:
Thor:
Love
Love
and
and
Thunder.
Thunder. It's weird, very Star Wars centered episode, but Marvel always
I'm
thinks
happy because we've had a lot of
a
Marvel.
lot
I
of
was kind of,
Marvel.
I'm being honest, kind of getting marveled out if I'm being honest with you.
Yes. I'm happy that the next Marvel thing is in 2 weeks, but um, I'm happy that it's not something so serious like She-Hulk or something like that.
Or Moon Knight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I feel that
I'm happy it's
100%.
Miss Marvel.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got to
we're
update this. I'll update this here with. Oh my God, Andor's gonna be so on, bro. I don't know how we're gonna do this when I'm in
how
college,
long
bro.
is Andor? Like,
It's 12 episodes.
oh, well, you have to imagine we're probably gonna get 2 episodes.
It's a 2 episode premiere. They
Yeah,
confirmed that.
yeah. So,
I don't know how I'm gonna. I don't. 31st of August. I don't know how I'm gonna do, bro. I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna get up at 3 in the morning, my second day of college, and watch 3 episodes of.
yes.
I'm not doing that.
Wait, 3
I-
episodes?
2 episodes of Andor and an episode of
Oh
She-Hulk.
shit! Don't get up at 3 in the morning then.
Yeah. Well, I can now, but like, I'm not doing that in college, bro. There's no way I'm doing that.
Yeah. Can you
Especially
just,
when I have a
by the way,
roommate. Especially having a roommate, I would have to use an
do
alarm.
you know your roommate?
No, I don't. I'm just gonna go with the
Oh,
random. I'm gonna go with the random, bro. Yeah, I don't care, real. I mean, there's a couple people I know I'm going to school with.
Right.
So maybe one person I have in mind.
Oh
Um,
man, that's awkward.
really? Yeah, I mean, that's just it's probably what's gonna happen to you.
I'll stay. I'll go home
Nah.
instead.
I mean, I live close enough where I could go home, but nah, man, I want to live on campus.
Oh man, it's crazy. I'm just like going through all of this.
You're also gonna get. It's gonna be weird for you to. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I might actually like. I'm sure they have like studio spaces. I'm gonna see what I can do to get like a space that I can rent out for a
Like,
little time.
what do you mean?
Like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this in my dorm room. I don't want to just do this
Oh,
with like a roommate who's not like who may not want to listen to me talk for an hour and a half about
you could do what I did in Florida and just like go
Star Wars or
outside.
Marvel. Bro, I'm not gonna stand
Yeah.
outside of my friggin' dorm room like this, basically, like this.
Go on your
And
phone.
no, no.
You better get a very comfortable roommate.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, yo, straight up, bro. I have a podcast. It's big time. You're gonna have to suck it up. Deal with it.
What if he's a big Star Wars fan though, or she?
That would
big,
be good. That would be
or
good.
big Star Wars. They can come on with you.
Right. By the way, we were supposed to get a guest for this show and we didn't.
Were we?
Yeah, we talked about this.
When?
And by the way, I'm gonna be on. I can't say. I'm gonna be on somebody's show in a couple of weeks.
Would those person's initials start with DC?
Friend of that.
E7?
Correct. And
Oh.
them together.
Oh, the DF. The DIF. The diff.
Right. Yeah, so in a couple weeks, actually next weekend.
Wow. Would you happen to know your topic of choice? What
I
are you
mean,
guys
it's
talking about?
Kenobi, obviously, and
Oh,
a recap of Celebration.
yeah. Oh, how
So very
excited are
excited for
you?
that. I'm very excited. Nervous too, a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
I bet. I'm gonna go
Oh,
ahead
by the
and
way,
add Kenobi stuff.
our,
Good.
I know we're just wasting time here, folks, but
It's okay
do you want
because
to see? Do you want to see me make a dive and catch?
a what?
A dive and catch in baseball. Here we go.
I don't know what
I know
that
this is very odd, but yeah. So I'm also an athlete, so
is.
here we go. Oh,
Or
don't show that. Don't show that.
U-Haul.
That's bad. That's not good.
I
Don't
just
show
heard
that.
someone go, "Oh!"
Here it is. It's around here. You gotta see this, bro. This is a great play by me. Here we go. I am very tiny, by the way. So like, if you see me standing next to people, here I am. There I am. Playing
Where?
second base. Okay. And
Where's
here's the
second
play.
base
You gotta
at?
watch this. This is a great play. This is like, here, and
I
we'll
don't
play with
play-
audio.
I
First
don't
game
play-
against each other this season.
Yes, this time they only played once.
Oh,
And
beautiful
Hamilton
stop.
Hamilton.
throws it over.
So to put this in like, I guess like I don't know how I would put this in terms. How would I put this in? This is like how would I put this in like Marvel terms?
You caught the Power Stone.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm
because, like-
Peter Quill. I'm Peter Quill.
Yeah.
This is an incredible play.
Yes.
As you can see, my teammates were very excited in the dugout,
Yes.
and then my
Very
guy Eric
good.
caught the ball. That was fun. I don't think you watched it. I'm kind of
I
disappointed. in that.
did.
Yeah, I'm
I'm-
gonna keep showing it because it's a great play.
There you go.
I mean, yeah. This is, and then this kid right here comes up and hits inside the park home run. We'll see that too. Actually, I don't want to see that because that makes me sad. Because we lost to our crosstown rival.
Ooh.
It's upsetting. So yeah,
Don't worry.
is your food here?
It'll be here in like 30 seconds. I should honestly
Okay.
probably go make sure my light is on. And,
All right. So I guess we're gonna take a little break. I'm gonna play some lo-fi beats.
yes. Okay. I'll be back.
Okay. Here we go. Lo-fi beats. Star Wars. Uh.
I'm sorry, the person.
There we go.
And we're back. We're back.
We
We
are
are
back.
back.
We're back from intermission. We should make that
Sorry.
a more staple thing.
Yeah, we actually should. That's actually good. All
Probably
right.
not
So
intermission after every topic, but on these bigger shows, we need them.
yes. All right. So it's time to move into our third and not final topic. The Andor trailer. We got our first look at Andor, and it looks absolutely fantastic. What is going on, bro? What is happening?
I'm opening a bag right now.
Okay, what did you get?
We got some mini Starbursts. I haven't had these before.
Never mind.
Listen, I know what you're gonna say. Don't
Bro,
judge
you said
me.
you were hungry and you got Starburst.
Oh.
This guy's just gonna stuff his face in the podcast. Unreal. Yeah. So, what did you think overall? The Andor trailer.
It was good. I
Yes.
saw Clone Troopers. I saw the
Yeah.
Senate, but I didn't see the Senate.
Correct.
Hold on. I'm trying to. Okay. It was good. I enjoyed it. I'm excited. It's not my most anticipated thing this year, going for what we have left, but I'm excited.
So, what I will say about this teaser is that it's, first off, it's fantastic looking.
Yeah, it's
It
very beautiful.
feels very different, right? It deals with a very different side of Star Wars. Still feels very familiar, but it's definitely feels, like almost like I'm watching a wartime propaganda movie, right? It feels like I'm watching the Viet Cong take it on America or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
literally,
two sides.
Look at the posters.
Right. You were touching on this.
Yeah, I mean, they literally look like modern day war propaganda.
Right. It feels very like, civilians trapped, repressive regime, coming in, taking over these cities and stuff. And then we also see Coruscant, so we see two sides of it.
Yeah.
We see Mon Mothma, but she's gonna play a very prevalent role. It looks like in this show.
Mhm.
And then we see Stellan Skarsgård's character, who's obviously in Thor, as the doc. What's his name?
Eric Selvig.
Selvig. He's gonna play. I just saw his name right here. Luthen. He's gonna play a rebellion person. So I'm very curious to see his role. And I'm very curious. We don't get. What's weird is we don't get a lot of Diego Luna. We don't get a lot of
No.
Andor.
Andor is not present in Andor.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
hope-
But I'm
I
very
hope-
curious.
Doesn't pull what another show did.
The Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
But we've talked about it on this podcast. We've said that, like, while we're really curious to see Cassian's story, we're more so curious to see how the rebellion operates, especially in a world that kind of now just tolerates violence or tolerates repressive regimes.
Mm-hmm.
So how did the people react? How did the people react? Because obviously, the rebellion had to do some dark things. We literally see in Rogue One Cassian kill a person just so we can escape.
Yeah, and a guy
Uh,
who gave him like vital information about the Death
Correct.
Star.
Correct. A thing that needed to be destroyed, and if it
And-
wasn't destroyed,
yeah.
it would have
And it,
terrorized the galaxy.
and it wasn't just like some it was some Richie rich guy. It was a crippled guy he killed. Like
Correct. The
an
dude is literally
amputee.
couldn't. He wanted help from Cassie, and Cassie's like, I can't help you, man.
Yeah. And so it's like again, we hear his stories like, oh, I've been in the fight since I was 6 years old.
Right.
But it's like, now we don't get to see him as a 6-year-old, but maybe. Well, I don't know, but we get to see what do you mean by the fight?
Right.
We
What's going on?
Yeah, we understand there's a fight. There's a fight between good and bad. There's a fight between the rebels and the Empire. But what do you mean you've been in the fight since you were
Right.
6 years old?
Yeah, what exactly is going on is right. I 100% agree with that, Alex. But it's also really interesting to me. It's the fact that we get a lot of Republic-looking stuff, right?
We
get the
saw
clone-
clone troopers. Very weird.
and the gunships look very much like Republic gunships. So my thing is that I very much think this is a flashback to when Cassian is young, right?
I think this is a 6 years old.
Right. Because it is talked about by Tony Gilroy, and it's not at Celebration, but it was in the Oh, I have it right here actually. Let me pull it up right here. The recent Vanity Fair article where I have
I'm mad jealous of you, by the way. Mad jealous of you.
I think where Tony Gilroy says like Diego Luna's planet is essentially destroyed by the Empire. So I'm sure we'll see that in the show, and I think that's what most of the scenes are that we see with the clones and with the Republic style looking gunships just painted over.
Yeah.
In Imperial colors. And then people were saying at the end of the trailer you see a hallway that looks very eerie, similar to Camino.
Yeah.
I don't think they're clones. But this trailer is I don't know what's happening. Like I don't know what's gonna happen in the show. There hasn't been a lot of leaks and rumors about what's gonna happen. I'm kind of glad I'm kind of left in the dark with this show because I'm so excited. It's gonna take us in such a different direction. But it did confirm one of our theories about Coruscant and the Imperial Senate playing a massive role in the show, and how we wanted it to play a massive role. So, what kind of got you excited from this trailer?
Just the feel. It's a different thing with Star Wars lately. We're going in a lot of different places with Star Wars. A lot of the
Right.
things don't feel the same. The Acolyte is going to be very different to Andor. Andor's going to be very different to Kenobi, and Kenobi's going to be very different to The Mandalorian, and The Mandalorian's going to be very different to Taika's movie, and Taika's movie is going to be very different to Rogue Squadron. We're
Right.
in a very different time in Star Wars where everything is brand new. Say what you will, we don't have to go down the rabbit hole, but the sequel trilogy was, I would say, just a very bad remastering of the original trilogy. And so for me, I think the fact that Star Wars is just like, yeah, we're going to veer away from doing what we have done, and we're going to go to do things we haven't done.
Right.
And I think the fact that we're basically just getting, like, I would say Rogue One is a war movie. Would you say that?
Absolutely. Like Rogue One has war elements, I would say,
Yeah.
right? Obviously
Especially,
that
the second
final
and third act.
the third act especially very much
Yeah.
feels like a Normandy like type of
Yeah.
invasion, like
Yeah,
the Allied
absolutely.
forces going against Germany. It felt very much like that. So like yeah, and Rogue One, it's a darker Star Wars movie. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean the whole cast dies.
Yeah, first time I've seen that.
But it was originally, as we know, that movie went through a lot of behind the scenes issues. It was gonna be a lot darker. It was gonna be a whole lot darker, like literally a whole lot darker.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know how they would have done that. But it seems like Andor is going to be that whole lot darker.
Yeah.
We're gonna see like what Cassian does to certain people. Because obviously he's gonna have to do not so good things to get the job done.
This show is definitely all about showing us that the rebels are the good guys, but they're not good people.
No, no,
Like you have to think not only from a legal sense, but from a literal sense. The rebels are terrorists.
correct. Now, while the
Like,
Empire is a oppressive regime, the rebellion is is doing terrible, acts as well, right?
yeah, I
Committing
mean,
acts of
literally,
violence.
literally, look what they did in Kenobi. They hung a Jedi.
Right. Right.
Like, I think it's important to know that Andor is going to show us the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Right. Right. And I
Mhm.
wanted to also show like the hardships that people who go through the rebellion go through. Like
Yeah,
it always seems like they're always happy, they're always hopeful, but like what are they like? What is the
yeah.
average person in the rebellion really like?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're probably been greatly affected by the empire. They're probably poor. They have
Mhm.
nothing, and they will do anything they can to fight against this repressive regime who's taken over their life. Um, and with Cassian, I really want to see like what makes him tick, right? What makes him go?
Yeah.
And at the same time, though, while I want to see him be that person that's slightly more passive aggressive, I want to see um
Cold
where
blooded.
that compassion comes in a little bit, because he does have some compassion, right? We see it in Rogue
Mhm.
One.
Yeah.
What does that come in? Is there a love interest? What's going on there?
Right. Yeah.
Because you could do a love interest there. There's room to do that.
Yeah.
And like,
Absolutely.
how does his job get in the way of his like the everyday life? What were his goals and aspirations, right? Just to see that, but also at the same time, I want to see what Mon Mothma's doing in the Senate. I want to see the political landscape and how that's
Yeah.
affecting the real world,
Maybe
right?
even see Bail Organa again. Bria
Correct.
Organa.
I think he's 100% in it.
Yeah. And so it's again, it's important to know these shows filming so close to each other, Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, Andor. It's not unintentional.
Right.
Very intentional. And so I think it's important to know that, yeah, I mean, we could see Bail again. We could see Leia again. We could see teenager Leia.
In the Imperial Senate, yeah.
And it's important to know what this takes place. What you said, 5 years before
Rogue One. So
Rogue
essentially
One,
5 years before New Hope.
and another major event happens around the same time. Star Wars Rebels. So we could see our first inklings of the Ghost Crew pre Ezra Bridger. So
Yeah. That would be really interesting if
yes.
Cassian had an interaction with them.
We know that the Ghost Crew did take place in the Battle of Scarif, and they
Right.
took place in the Battle of Endor. Now, we don't know
Right.
where they were for the Battle of Hoth. We don't know where they were for the Battle of Yavin. We just know that they were there on Scarif, and they were there at Endor.
Right. Correct.
And again, we have to remember, at this point in the timeline where Andor takes place, Kanan is still alive. So maybe if there is an interaction with the Ghost Crew, could we see an Inquisitor?
I don't want to see any Force users, if I'm being honest with you.
I think we're almost destined. I think if not, we're gonna see. I think it's almost certain we're gonna see Palpatine in some capacity.
We're kind of gonna have to, though, if we're dealing with
Yeah.
the set. Well, I don't know. Again, we don't know what Palpatine was like with the Imperial Senate. Very much different. Is it really? It's not really a Senate because Palpatine's the Emperor. Emperors don't. It's not a democracy. It's
And
a dictatorship.
It's important to know, like, in Imperial history, like we have to remember, the Empire only was standing for 21-ish so years.
Correct.
They weren't. It was not a long-standing empire.
No.
What, they rise in 19 BBY, fall in 4 ABY or so,
Right.
with the Battle of Jakku. So, what is that, like
23 years.
25-ish years?
Right.
And you have to think, Palpatine only had the Imperial Senate for 19 of those years, because if you remember in A New Hope, Tarkin gets the word that he's shut down the Senate.
Right.
So, and then it's just him calling the shots from now on.
Which is very odd because he's an emperor. Why is there a Senate as it is? I mean,
you have to think it's public appeal. Like,
it's a show. It's for show. It's a facade.
If we hear Palpatine, if Emperor Palpatine is ruling slave trade in the Outer Rim or through the spice mines of Kessel, then see that, oh, we're being ran by a dictator. But if you hear the Imperial Senate has voted that we do this, then it's like, oh, the Senate believes that's
right.
What's best.
Even though it's Palpatine swaying them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, I'm very curious to see how they go with that.
Yeah, I'm important.
Mon Mothma, in my opinion, has been like a character that's just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think. Like, her most important thing that she has ever said in Star Wars is, "Many Bothans died to bring us this information." So
Right.
It's just like, is that really the most iconic line you want to have?
Right. I'm
Like,
very excited. I'm just excited to see Coruscant again.
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
Really good. A lot of it also was not shot on the volume compared
It's
to
not.
Kenobi. A lot of it.
None of this is shot in the volume.
Oh, none of it. Okay, yeah. It's all on site. It's all physical set.
A lot of it is physical set. A lot of it, I believe, most of the show was filmed in England and Scotland, so the United Kingdom, and they had a lot of problems because of weather, obviously, and COVID.
Yeah.
So it took almost like a year. Like, it took a year plus to film this show. Added to the fact it's also 12 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it looks really good. Really well done, and I can't wait to see the juxtaposition of what's happening, like I said, on the battlefield with the spies, with Andor, and again, we can see the formation of the rebellion. We kind of see it in Rebels, right? But we can see the joining of the pacifist rebellion, who's trying to get it done politically, versus the essentially the terrorist,
The war criminals.
The war criminals joining together, and how that intertwines together. So, I mean, it's really exciting, Alex. It looks fantastic, like we were saying.
It's a show that right now, I don't know how it's going to start. I don't know how it's going to end either.
Yeah, it's very much up in the air, and that's what makes me so excited. But I know it's going to be darker and grittier, and I think Diego Luna obviously really loves Star Wars, it seems, just by talking about the character. And Tony Gilroy, I think, is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're getting the darkness of Moon Knight for this show.
I hope so too. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for Andor. You got anything else you want to talk about with it, or?
No, man, I'm just excited. August 31st, man, can't come soon enough.
August 31st, 2-episode premiere. We're gonna get the show basically for 3 months because it's 12 episodes. So, really curious to see how it all plays out.
Yep, agree. 110% with you.
So now let's talk about our final topic, Thor: Love and Thunder. Our first Marvel topic. Feels like forever that we haven't not talked about Marvel. So, what did you think?
My vow, all gods will die. Such a good line. Such a good line. Man, it's definitely still the most anticipated project of the year. This definitely bolsters.
That's left. Or
That's
just
left. Yes, it's left.
okay.
I would even say it was still always the number one, but Multiverse of Madness obviously had a special place. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, I just am I'm a big fan of how this trailer is. Like I love like yeah, we're gonna get to see the transformation of or Dad Bod to God Bod.
Hmm.
We're gonna see like what does Thor mean by his hands were once used for battle, now they're but tools for peace.
Right.
But I think the big thing to talk about from this trailer, so I mean, I'm sorry, but there's not really other big talking points from this except the one and the only Gore the God Butcher. I was a little eerie about the design coming off of the Marvel Legends figure. He didn't look that good, but hot damn does he look good.
I told you. Can I say that? I told you.
No, you told me the Marvel Legends figure looked good. I'm saying Gore in the movie looks sick.
Yeah, he looks I mean, Christian Bale is gonna kill that, bro.
I'm
Bro,
gonna say this also. I know we have that little discussion about like you wouldn't want to cover up Christian. He does not look like Christian Bale. I don't see Christian Bale anywhere in there.
I do.
I don't. I literally was like trying to see it. I was like, I'm trying to see. Maybe if I tilt my head.
I think the one shot where and I can pull it up. I think this one shot you could. I don't know how you can't tell in this one shot, but I could definitely tell it's Christian Bale. But man, Gore feels.
If you're talking about the shot for where he's like before, like when he doesn't have the like scars on his face, you can kind of tell. But when he has the scars on, no, that's not Christian Bale. I'm getting the Jane Foster phenomena from.
He looks terrifying. It just looks so
Resident Evil.
creepy.
He does. I mean, he looks right. Like it looks good. We got to see the Necro
shot.
sword. Yes, and that you can tell it's maybe Christian Bale. Had you not told me, like, if had I not known that Christian Bale was in this, I wouldn't have guessed it was him.
No, I can't tell that's Christian Bale.
No, like you could not tell me that was Christian Bale.
That looks terrifying.
Yes. Could you imagine just him looking at you like that? Like if you go back to the trailer before he has the markings on his face, when you can like pretty clearly tell it's him.
Right.
You just got to think like, like that's Gore the
And
God.
this is
Butcher.
also creepy.
Yes, you get the tentacles.
Now, obviously the all-black necro sword. Obviously, there's a tie into the symbiotes. You think you get that here or no?
No.
No,
Sony
I
property.
agree.
And again, it's important to know that that very sword that Gore wields is the sword that beheaded Nowhere.
Do you think he beheaded Nowhere?
No. I think it was before. Before Gore.
So, do you think... My thing is, do you think Gore's been at this for a long time? Or do you think it's very recent?
I would say maybe like 3 or 4 years at most.
I think you could make the argument that it's been going on for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, like, you could simply say that, like, Thor didn't know about it because all the stuff in the Infinity Saga was happening. He was preoccupied by that, right? He wouldn't, like, necessarily, like, know what's happening.
Yeah, it's also important to know, like, a lot of people are saying, like, oh, this movie is talking about Thor a lot of the time in the past tense, like he's dead. Right. Guys, Thor's not dying. Stop.
No, there's no way they kill him.
What you would have to do to convince me that Thor dies in this movie is, like, straight up show me him dying.
I mean, it'd be pretty ballsy.
It would be
I'd give my tip of the cap to Taika if he did it.
If he did it well, too.
Right. I think you could do it well with a character. Like, Gore is, as powerful as Hela was, like, Gore is probably his most powerful foe.
Hold on. You remember the shot in the trailer? It's my favorite shot is when Thor has his helmet on. He's like, Jane?
I love the
It
helmet. I know
looks-
some people say it's so
it looks
goofy.
it looks so stupid, but it looks so fucking amazing on him.
It's goofy, but it's so like. I mean, obviously, I love the OG like one he wears in the first Thor movie. This.
Yeah, it looks so dumb.
It's so funny. It's
It
so
looks
Thor
dumb.
though.
It looks so dumb, but it looks so good.
I have no idea what's happening here. I'm still trying to figure out where this is at.
I don't either. It looks like it's on New Asgard, but it's in New Asgard. But it's like, what is happening?
Right, because there's no way Gore. Because this looks like it's in the beginning of when he finds Jane.
Yes, this is his first interaction with Jane.
Right, so there's no way Gore, unless Gore comes early in the film, but I don't think that's what's gonna happen.
No, yeah. I think another thing is Mjolnir has a new power.
I think it's cool.
Yes, I think it's really cool that Mjolnir can break apart and then reconnect. I think it's
Yes.
a sick power to have.
Right, yeah.
I'm sorry, it really makes me want to 3D print my Mjolnir again.
Right.
Like
Right.
it's so badass. It's really cool. It's a little weird to see Thor call Mjolnir and it not come to him. It goes to someone else.
Well, it does come to him still, but it gets pulled away.
Yeah,
So
it's
is
a little,
Jane more worthy than I still don't understand the rules of that thing, man.
Uh,
I mean, Odin says whoever wields it shall possess the power of Thor.
Yeah. My thing is this though, and this is where I've always thought about it. It's so in the comics, Jane, when she's the mighty Thor and powers up, it reverses the effects of her chemotherapy.
Correct.
Okay. So we get that. So then why don't you just stay fully powered up forever then?
Yeah, right?
Like Thor does it for all the comics. Like apart from some offshoot times, he's almost always in his full
Dude, even
power
when he's a
state.
frog.
Literally. Like maybe it's a plot a hole, maybe it's just something that I never understand, but
Yeah, I
don't wanna
don't.
jump the plot hole land.
Yeah, I'm
but
not gonna call it a plot hole, but like it's. Wouldn't you like if you had
I would just stay fully powered up all the time.
right, right,
Yeah, I mean, I think this movie has a lot to do, but I think honestly, this movie has one big thing. It's showing Thor's power in his full might.
right?
Because we have to remember something. Right now in the Marvel power scale, in the Marvel cinematic universe, I don't with me about the comics because the comics power scaling is so dumb. I could get into a whole thing about how Wiccan is the most powerful being probably in all of Marvel, but we don't need to. This movie needs to establish Thor as a powerful bitch. Like, Endgame kind of went for like we got to think. We went from Ragnarok that was up here, Infinity War that was up here,
Right.
and then Endgame just like I don't even know what happened in Endgame.
Nah.
So you had to establish him as a very powerful being in this.
Right.
Now I want to ask you the question right now. From what we've seen in Love and Thunder, who do you think personally would win in a fight? Thor or the Scarlet Witch?
The Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, and it feels weird to say that. And the reason why is if you had asked me in 2018, Infinity War Wanda versus Thor Infinity War, I would have said Thor without even a question.
I mean, Thor literally beheaded Thanos.
Wanda was a little dead for that, but
True.
it's like,
Sorry.
yeah, I mean, it's like you want to like when I think about those two in that movie, I'm like, oh, one of them destroyed a whole Infinity Stone, but one made a weapon to counteract 6 of them.
Correct.
So it's just like it's a weird power thing.
Yeah, you can travel the Bifrost.
Yeah,
Which is insane. Just
but
an
then,
axe.
but then here we come in 2022. Wanda is off the fucking charts powerful, and
Correct.
Thor feels
Stagnant.
he feels like he's just flatlined with power.
Right.
we have to remember Thor, in terms of the Avengers level heroes, is like the most powerful one.
Correct.
If not
Like,
one of them.
because like at this point, all Wanda would have to do is be like, no
What
more
powers?
Mjolnir,
Or yeah, like
No.
what powers?
no more Mjolnir, and that's it.
Yeah. So I'm asking you, do you think there's a big power scaling problem that the MCU is facing right now?
Well, it's just Wanda and then everyone else. So like they need
Yeah.
to. So I feel like Thor in this movie obviously needs to like I could just tell that he's gonna be way more powerful in this film, right? We're gonna see him use
Yeah.
the Bifrost more.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Odin says like I'm not as like Thor says to him in Ragnarok, I'm not as strong as you. And to which Odin says, "No, you're stronger." So like we have to see
Yeah.
at some point Thor become stronger
Yeah.
than Odin. And we never see how powerful Odin really is. They always just allude to it.
Yeah.
But in the comics, Odin is extremely powerful.
He's amazing. His power was amazing. But it's again where I think Marvel has done is they have trapped themselves in the Scarlet Witch corner. How do you overdo the Scarlet Witch? It's a big thing though in this trailer. We see maybe it's a sanctum, maybe it's a temple. We see the mighty Thor stand in front of a statue of the Living Tribunal,
And Uatu the Watcher.
Death, Eon, I forget the other one. But are those the most powerful? I think right now where the MCU lies right now, they're at a very bad power scaling problem. Because
So
let me tell you, you're like let's bring in characters like Doom. How are you going to feasibly convince me Doom is more powerful than Wanda?
I mean, Doom's pretty damn powerful with his magic, bro.
Especially God Emperor Doom.
Right.
But right now, you can literally just have Wanda be like, "What Doom?"
Right.
And it's
What magic?
yeah, it's and then you can even like bring in like, and this is why I don't. You know who my favorite character of all time in Marvel is? It's
Right.
Wiccan. I don't want the MCU to bring him in anymore, unless they bring him in as the Demiurge. I don't know if I don't know how much you've read about the Demiurge and whatnot.
No, I don't know.
Well, as the Demiurge, he can literally, with the breath of his mouth, destroy the multiverse and
What?
and simultaneously create a new one.
That's insane.
And also, there is a it's like his most iconic comic panel. He is standing on reality with the edit option. It's like, okay, Wanda can do that. So
Right.
how are you going to feasibly, like, somebody has to surpass her, but
Correct.
to what? And then if you proceed or overdo Wanda, how do you do that? And I think like Thor should be like, if you're telling me right now, honestly, Thor, if like pre Love and Thunder, he's not even in the conversation for powerful people.
Right.
You got a Watu in there, Doctor Strange,
Hell,
Supreme
Icarus, bro.
Strange. Like, it's weird. Thor went from like, oh my god, nobody's gonna surpass
Right.
Thor in
Nobody's
power,
gonna touch him.
especially after Ragnarok and Infinity War. You're just
Right.
like, nobody can touch this guy, like, unless you're Thanos and you got some quippy line in.
Right.
But now I just feel like, oh, Iron Man could beat Thor, and he kind of did in the Avengers movie. So I'm hoping my number one pray for Thor: Love and Thunder right now, bring Thor back to where he was.
It's gonna have to be to defeat Gore. And by the way,
Yes.
please do not kill Gore the God. But I know it's probably
Yes.
gonna happen because
Yes.
Bale's probably only gonna want to do one film. But like Gore is such a big villain, like so cool. Like all the gods we're gonna see him kill.
Zeus.
Obviously he's gonna kill Zeus. That's definitely happening.
R.I.P. Russell Crowe.
That's what you get for flicking too hard.
And flick.
That's gonna be so funny in the theater, bro. That scene's gonna be so
Do
funny.
you think they're gonna uncensor his ass,
No,
dude?
that would.
I'm not gonna say anything. I think they're gonna uncensor it.
Bro, but I love how like Jade and Valkyrie act. They're just like,
Should we help him? No.
and we do see Valkyrie using Zeus's lightning bolt, so that's not good for
I think
Zeus.
though, the most intriguing thing though, like on that topic, that little area where everything is just black and white.
So it looks like it gets progressively more black and white though. Like when they go there, they're normal. Like what happens?
I don't know. Maybe it's Gore sucking their energy away.
Maybe.
It's something, but I don't know what. I don't know what that could be. So I don't know. I'm just like right now. That's like honestly the most intriguing thing for me from this trailer. What is that place?
And it
how can I
also
go
looks
to it?
like the planet gets destroyed because Gore like puts the sword
Yes.
in, but there's lightning. I'm very confused as to what happens. I'm very excited though. It's like,
Well, again, just keep in mind, the Necro Sword is one of the most powerful weapons in the comics.
right,
Yeah, I mean, again, even in the MCU, that weapon beheaded a Celestial.
correct.
It wouldn't almost bother me that that weapon can destroy a planet.
Right, absolutely. Now, do you think we see Gore's backstory? Because his backstory is very well done in the comics.
Yes, very well done. Unfortunately, it won't be as good because you can't include Null because that's a Sony
Right.
property. So, it's whatever. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for this movie. I don't think there's a single part where I'm just like, maybe the one thing I am worried about is Gore dying, but I think it's almost
Right.
inevitable he's going to.
I think it'll be well done.
Yeah, I mean, Taika's got the writing to make a great villain. Hela was great. Surtur was great. So,
And yeah, I'm excited for Jane too. I wasn't really
yeah.
like super excited, but after this trailer, I was like, yeah, she's gonna kill it. Like I
Me
know
too.
Natalie got in such good shape, and after
Yeah.
seeing some of her action scenes and just her dialogue with Thor, you think they
Yeah.
get back together? By the way,
Yeah.
the God couple,
Yes. I mean, think about it though. The
bro. The
lineup,
child they would produce, bro.
I know. The ultimate Chad. You have an Asgardian and then a demigod.
Right.
You have a god and a demigod as your parents.
Yeah.
Just think though, we're going to Secret Wars. Think about the lineup that we have right now. Assuming she's alive, which I'm almost certain she is, Scarlet Witch, like Ultra Supreme, Doctor Weird, Spider-Man, if he's gonna be used,
Clea.
Clea, two Thors, Sam Wilson.
Whatever Kane we get.
Yeah. So like just think, man. I'm trying to think now. Like of villains to come, who is next? We gotta think we got Doom to still come. Mephisto. Although
We haven't gotten a
I'm-
lot of like supernatural, like
Yeah.
mystical. We haven't gotten like
although I'm pretty
Nightmare.
sure yeah, although I'm pretty sure it's
Mephisto.
implied he's dead, we haven't got Chthon yet.
Correct.
We haven't gotten we haven't properly gotten Dormammu. He was kind of
Correct.
unfortunately bitched around by the Time Stone.
Yeah, he's not gonna put up with that probably in Strange 3.
Yeah. And so
I'm really curious so where Thor goes after this.
yeah. I mean, you gotta think. Who do you think, if we're looking at the MCU as a whole, 10 years from now, who do you think is the Thanos going forward? We wanna say it's Kang, but I can't land on you and
Secret
say
Wars is 2026. I don't see it. But to get back to Thor, like you were saying.
you have more to say?
Yeah, I guess I was just
Goody.
gonna say, just to wrap this up, because I want to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see where they go with the character after this, because I feel like might have arced out.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I think he's
I feel like by the end of this film, I don't think it's a passing of the mantle, but I feel like he should go by, because in the comics at some points he doesn't go by Thor, he goes by Odin's son.
No, he goes by Donald Blake.
So I think that's where they should go. It should just go by Odin's son.
I'm very sad that we're probably never going to get the Unworthy story. I think that would have been a really badass story. Although we kind of got it, I guess, in Thor 1. But it wasn't the true Unworthy story.
Right.
And also, I mean, maybe we actually could get it, because the catalyst for the Unworthy story is Gore.
Right.
Gore's the catalyst of it, because I don't remember who says it to him, but they're basically like, hey, yo, bro, all gods should die, and you're a god. All gods got to go. So Thor's like, okay, here's my hammer. Goodbye. So I'm just like, maybe we could get the Unworthy story. Who knows?
Maybe. And do you think Jane does have cancer? I think she does.
Yeah. It's one of those things, story-wise.
It's like essential to the story. It's like kind of important for her to have it.
It would be like with I'm trying to think of like a bit. It would be like Uncle Ben not dying for Spider-Man. That's kind of an essential part. That's kind of like the springboard to him becoming a hero.
Right.
There's no Spider-Man without the Uncle Ben death. Which I think, like, can we both agree that is like a nexus point, or an absolute point in almost every timeline, that the Uncle Ben figure has to die?
Probably, yeah. Or he
whether
doesn't become Spider-Man.
Yeah, whether it be like Aunt May who says the line, or Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, that's my official thoughts for Thor: Love and Thunder. I think it comes out, what is it, a month away?
A little over a month away. Yeah.
Cannot wait. July 9th cannot come fast enough.
I'm very excited, very excited. So that's going to do it for our marathon show. That was fun.
Woo!
That was fun.
Yes.
We'll be back.
Yes. Expect more intermissions on these episodes.
We'll be back Wednesday to discuss Kenobi and wrap up
Marvel.
everything.
Miss Marvel.
Oh, is it Miss Marvel preview? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I feel so bad. Kenobi and Miss Marvel preview. And we'll probably wrap up Celebration as well. So very excited for that. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching. May the Force be with you.
Mm-hmm.
And may you stay burning
Mm-hmm.
with glorious purpose. And Alex?
Oh. I'm dying right now.
Do you not want to do it?
I'm dying right now.
Oh, okay.
And that's a Moon Knight thing.
Oh, sorry. So what's our Kenobi thing?
Leia!
Just Leia. Wow. I'm just going to end it now. Sorry, everyone.
You have to shout it like Obi-Wan did.
All right. On 3. 3, 2, 1. Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Leia!
Later. Oh, that would have. End the show.
That was terrible. All right. Peace out, everyone.